Aha! And so we begin this inaugural scene of Rage Across the fucking Vikings, I guess, of our Voyager venue. Set in the Dark Ages, founded in a Get a Fen Recept, where we have these chucklefucks. Now, these chucklefucks and some fellow chucklefucks have been on their first foundling raids under the watchful eyes of the Den parents and have returned successful. Hey, they even returned with a new guy. Not sure how they found a guy standing in the water, but sometimes these things just happen. Fortune just smiles on people. Runa was convinced this was a good idea. But they have gone on their founding raids. They have come back. The men and goods that they have returned with have been dutifully praised, recognized. There's been feasting, there's been partying. Because why wouldn't you celebrate? Look at the babies, all grown up now. But in the wake of these celebrations, in the wake of some sleeping off, some incredible hangovers, and probably with time for things to be put where they belong, recovered slaves have been divvied out, goods have been divvied out, things have appropriately gone to the highest in station, and in the end, and I hope you guys grabbed your gear and know what the fuck armor and weapons you have, because I didn't think to prompt you till now. You will be gathered up once more. This time, let me pop over here. By while one of your proverbial classmates is in fact, as you well know it, the daughter of the Sept Alpha, apple of his eye, invariably. Sane will come around, kicking people out of bed, flipping beds, flipping mattresses, smacking on walls, and generally being loud and obnoxious. I don't care if it's your marriage bed, it's getting flipped. So yes, welcome to morning, all of you. I mean, don't everyone go first?
Stare at me like
don't
stare at me like that when I'm sleeping. It's really eerie.
I wasn't staring. I was merely watching over you. What if a spirit had tried to possess you? Who would be there to save you? Krar would.
Stare. Yes. Stands up slowly.
Fuck! I'm up. All right, I'm up. Fuck me. Oh, shit.
Sane lets go of the foot of your bed, which was lifted about a foot off the floor. Good. Get dressed. Drops the bed.
I am dressed.
Scoots out.
Rolls off onto the ground. Picks himself up. Fuck. All right. So, what's the meaning for the wake-up call?
Oh, she'll pause in the doorway. Warm folk calls. We're going back out. Get your shit together. And, just stromps right on out.
Brothers and sisters, it seems we've been called once again.
Seems as if they're more eager this time.
The blood will flow, sister, as it always shall. We'll be the ones to spill it.
Maybe. Or we'll take something with us. She just, fastens her basically your clothes around herself slowly.
And will kind of shake his head back and run a hand through the top of his hair, brushing it all back. So, Krar, are you ready for another fight?
Oh, fighting, yes. Yes, of course I'm ready. Why wouldn't I be ready?
Ah, good. I don't want you falling behind. You need to keep up.
Oh, behind? Oh, never. Not Krar.
Oh, because you're taking point, Rakabash.
I mean, isn't that what we're supposed to do? We scout ahead and come back, and let the mighty Arun take the glory. For it's theirs by right, is it not?
Your words, they mean nothing. The glory is shared for us all. We are the might of Fenrir himself.
Damn it. Yes, Fenrir, of course.
Stare.
When are we getting out of here?
Soon, once we finish prepping for a raid. It'll take some time and there'll be lots of songs to sing. After all, she steps right into Krar's face, that intensely old blue eyes. We'll have to make sure that you are fitting to raid with us. Aren't you fitting?
Well, of course I'm fit to go on a raid.
Wonderful, because we have a pack to compete with. And I want to win.
Ooh, we're competing to win. Ooh, who are we against?
It's more rivalry, but we have to grab Krar by the throat and pulls him right in. We have to show them that we are the best that Fenrir has to offer.
Of course we will. Astra, you can let go now. I understand.
Let's go and begins to walk out.
This familiar bitch has also tumbled out of Arn's bed and is very excitedly grabbing up her gear because she heard there was raiding to be done.
Sorry, I got wild girlfriend a bit. What just happened?
Some delightful interaction between your sister and your new packmate. And your wife is spilling out of the bed and picking up her gear, prioritizing setting that on the bed even before she goes hunting up her clothes.
It's kind of like the honey. He walk over. Stop laughing, Don. He'll walk over, kind of slide up, put his hands on her shoulders, and lean forward. Ah, I see you're coming out with us then.
Oh, of course. I wouldn't miss a raid.
No.
With you. Reaches up and gives him a kiss on the cheek, continues getting her shit together, kind of tying on her top.
No. No. Of course not. So, are you planning on leading the kinfolk in? Yeah.
Of course.
Good. Lead the kinfolk, and you'll be just fine.
And she will finish shrugging on the last of her gear, belting it, and will turn to go, turn a fond glance back, give Arn a slap on the ass, and go ahead and saunter out to go gather up the kin while you lot presumably get to report to the Wormfoe.
Well, of course we go to the Wormfoe. Where else are we going to go? We're expected.
Yep, we'll grab Diddy's as well as we're going.
You're an ass. I don't like you.
What are we doing?
We're getting Diddy's. We're
getting the Diddy's? Sweet.
No, not this one. Wait. What are you doing?
Yes, that one. Come here, wife.
Hey.
Oh shit.
Gotta set up my shit. God. Because you know exactly who she's going to pick up. These assholes. Fucking Tweedledee and Tweedledum. Dite, you will find, is already up, has her gear together, and is actually stood outside the hut, kind of glancing over as you lot stumble out.
And of course, walking with pride, leading his fabulous pack out of wherever the fuck they were.
Yeah, Astra just puts his arm around. I can't actually say her name apart from Diddy's. I can't do it. Dite. She put her arm around Dite and just pull her in essentially. Yeah, that kind of friendly, like, we're bros and this is what bros do type thing.
Oh yeah, you get the counter arm rack and the pat on the back.
This is basic human.
This is human interaction. Reciprocate, please.
She does just that.
Still glaring menacingly back at Krar every now and again because he just likes the way he squirms when he looks. It's basically,
Get
do again, Krar. How very Shadow Lord of you.
You get the cursory glance back from the pack they urge. Her golden eyes are a far cry from natural. He has spotted them slitting at least once. But she just kind of shoots a glance back like, oh, yeah, you're still here. Grats. And claps Astra on the back as Arn leads them.
As Aaron walks up to Dide, clasping her arm, that butcher's grip as the muscles flex and turns, full Schwarzenegger.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, even the shine, you can see the beam like shing as the two hands meet and sheer strength is exchanged. It's good to see you, sister. Are you ready for the blood?
I dare say I'm more ready than you are.
Excellent. And let us not dilly-dally around, Dite. I have much to do.
She will gesture him to lead on. You fuckers butchering her name. Why do you hate me? I can tell you're tempted every time.
Look, at least I'm trying to say it properly.
I give you kudos for trying.
Fuck. Don't play this game, Katie, or I will just start calling her titties.
I'll change your name to spite you.
And he will,
Yeah.
and will lead the people wherever we're supposed to be going.
Yep. You will, as you arrive, as you will not filter in, you will see that your friendly nemesis, as it were, the other Cleath pack, with which you, well, it's hard to call it competing, except they have the distinct advantage in that their totem demands that they keep no wealth for wealth's sake. So while they have certainly perhaps upgraded some of their gear, they don't have to hold on to anything for their totem. So everything that they bring back is turned over, giving them a slight advantage in the earning favor. But yeah, they are set around, and they're probably just chatting idly. He's a reasonably easy fellow to get along with. Is this here worm foe? Oh lord, and I have to remember everyone's names. Shieldbreaker, as he's known, is quite the upwardly mobile type. It is kind of an open secret that sooner or later he's coming for someone's position. But for the moment, he is doing damn well as the worm foe. And as you lot finally putter in and find your spot, we'll wave you, agreeably enough in and over. Good to see you all up. Are you ready to go back out? I know it has not been long.
Just a nod from Astra.
We are
Oh, yeah.
always ready, Raya.
Good, good. Then, much as before, you will be sent out across the sea and gestures off in the direction of the Baltic to one of the places with which we are reasonably familiar. Every year we go raiding, every year. They have plenty to spare. This time you will go without... What's the word I'm looking for? The observation of the den parents. You'll be expected to handle this on your own. There is no lifeline.
Excellent.
Nods, like, yes, yes, yes.
Yes.
Yep, the other pack is likewise kind of cheering at the idea of going without, the proverbial adult supervision, because god damn it, we're big kids and we can raid on our own.
Yeah, we can murder everything.
Good, good. The ship is ready. The kin are prepared to row. Go. Down to the docks. We've already been, he nods. First to, god damn it, these names that I only just made up. First to Sana and then over to Dite, who was awake before the rest of you. You know where you're going. Good luck on the sea, and good luck in your battle. And, shoos you off towards the docks. Yeah, kind of, all right, that's enough motivational speak for you. Blah.
It's like, go, shoo.
Shoo. Go.
Of course, being thoroughly shooed, Aaron will proudly march to his longboat.
Astra's going to stop by wherever her father is, essentially, as well. While Aaron is proudly marching with his wife. She fucking evil glares the fucking wife walking on. Looks like, of course she's coming. Ugh.
Oh yeah, she's right there at the docks with these two chuckle fucks, ready to pile in.
As Aaron gets to the docks, you'll see Astra will see from the distance. He puts the arms around the two brothers, and you can hear him like, "Ha ha! Glad you could join us, brothers."
Astra makes a deliberate pause to kind of beeline towards her father before she sees the two brothers intensify, essentially.
Intensify? I don't know what you're talking about. They wouldn't needlessly intensify.
Ever.
Ever.
Like, where is she?
Reason.
But yeah, I'll beeline towards the father for a bit, like pushing Krar ahead of me, like, go on, get, type of thing.
Astra, no, please, no need to pause. Astra, please, I can walk.
You can walk, but get on the boat.
Fine. And Krar will, begin to step into the boat, and then, barely catch himself as Astra gives him a.
Yeah, she pat Dite on the shoulder, and then we'll begin walking towards her father.
Yeah. Your father, as usual, is a reasonably busy man. It is about that season. So you'll note as you're walking through rather than straight to the docks that, the Wormfoe is off talking to another of the packs, an older pack, mostly Fosterns. And looks like he's giving them the same kind of thing, telling them where they're going, what they're doing, etc., prepping them to shove off.
Keep an eye on these fucking cleats, man. As you're going along, yeah.
Oh, they're going somewhere else. The kitties have been unleashed. But yeah, you'll see him busy about his shit. Even the kinfolk are bustling around and making sure that gear that was used in previous raids is prepared and ready to go again. And your father is, in fact, there, probably just outside his hut, because he can't go 3 steps without someone stopping him. And will almost shoot a relieved look to his perfect daughter as she comes, striding up, shooing off, well, one of the many, many, many kinfolk tromp around this place. Probably one of the Fiskers. There are so many of that family around. And we'll turn to greet you with arms raised.
She'll take the hug happily. For once, lightening up, essentially, when she's hugged by her dad.
Oh yeah, she gets the big heavy hug, the hefty pats on the back. Astra, what can I do for you?
We're going out in a raid, Father.
Good, good. Back to back means you must have done well.
Nods. I did. Is there anything you want me to do out there?
What more could I ask of you than that you bring strength to our name? Go, serve as an example. Your brother, too.
I'll keep an eye on him. Just nods. Just gives that kind of awkward, like, yeah, this is my dad. You know what I mean?
This is my dad.
He's so cool. And then we'll just give that awkward, like not proud daughter nod. She begins to stride, a bit more like less nervous as she begins to walk, and we'll, greet the two fucking brothers. Here we go. As they're climbing on, she's about to climb on the ship.
Where have you been?
I was seeing Father.
Well, I hope everything is ready.
Stares at the two brothers, like eyes narrowing slightly.
Oh, they're already set. The kin have loaded on their trunks of, rations, gear, etc., and set them out so that they have a place to sit to row. The two brothers, of course, have been completely separated to opposite ends of the ship because otherwise they fucking squabble, even if you put them across from each other. So each one, of course, brightens up and lifts a hand in greeting. In fact, the one who is, poor Cole has been the one seated at the back this time, so he actually, hops up to rush forward so that he is at least as close as his brother. As you come aboard.
You just get this smile as it happens.
She'll walk up to Cole, because, he's been at the back, and she'll give him a pat on the shoulder. You're looking strong.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. And are you ready?
There's even the beginning of a flex, which means, of course, that Kalf is also flexing because they will not be outdone.
She would deliberately ignore Kalf for a minute, and she'll smile. I've been seeing you train, Cole, and I'm impressed. So impress the raid out here, and well, we'll talk some more.
Of course, Astra. Whatever you wish. I would hardly want to fail to impress. He gives kind of it's almost teasing because he knows you don't expect a bow, but he likes to be, after all, a good gentleman. Because, they're such gentlemen.
She'll do that chuckle, which means finally her eyes will make contact with the other brother, going, well, he just one-upped you, essentially, teasing chuckle, essentially.
Oh, God. Yeah. Kalf, of course, takes, that half glance at his brother like, you dirty bastard, and proceeds to dip into an even deeper bow, giving his brother a shove. Gets shoved back. It begins.
No. And just smile, just pat one of the brothers on the shoulder, and then we'll deliberately peck the side of the other brother's cheek, and then we'll be going to sit down a good distance away from them, looking back, watching, yes, fight for me, yes. You know what I mean?
You can see the lightning anime between the eyeballs as one gets a pat on the shoulder and the other gets a kiss on the cheek, and that is not even close to balanced. And how dare! But grudgingly, especially with you, making at least a moderate effort to draw their attention away. The one, poor Cole, finally goes back to the back of the ship, though they maintain the prolonged eye contact the whole way.
She sits down, smirking to herself, and she's getting herself comfortable. Then gives Aaron's wife the fucking death stare. Like you.
She doesn't know what you mean. And proceeds to give Arn a peck on the cheek before going to find her place among the rowers, because you're goddamn right she can row.
Yes, she can. Of course. Arn accepts that his wife, of course, gets a good seat. There's somewhere in the middle. He
Somewhere in the
smiles
middle?
back at it. Oh yeah, somewhere in the middle, you know, where the muscles will be tested most at the forefront of the full driving force of the boat rather than the steering. That's where she needs to be.
And of course, this lot have likewise piled on.
Wait,
Yeah.
we're on the same boat?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
These things are
Oh,
huge. They're like
jeez.
40 plus people.
I know. Well,
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like, that's a lot of rage.
That is a lot of rage, isn't it?
Where's Crar? And all this fucking get
Yeah.
offenders.
Oh, you know Krar. He's in the shadows. As
Crar!
shadowy as you can be.
Where are you, boy? Boy!
I see him.
Oh, I didn't notice you there. Pardon me.
Are you ready, Crar?
I'm in the boat, aren't I? I have
The
my
sea
things.
is not a tame mistress. You must be ready.
Astrid begins slowly sharpening her axe, staring at Crar as well, like, shh. Shh. Just looking at him.
I hope you're a well sailor, Crar. For this will be a test in itself.
Of course it will. Hmm.
Welcome the storm. Welcome it. Let it give you strength. When we land on those sandy beaches, we will show no mercy.
Surely we should scout the area first.
Oh, that's where you come in. Let's hope you're first off the boat, Crar.
First off the boat.
Of course. I completely understand.
Excellent! I knew you'd get it. He's got a
Excellent.
heavy pats him on the shoulder. Fine
I
work.
suppose always.
Fine. Yes. As Aaron will make his way All right, that's gonna ask Katie. In the other pack, are there any Aruns?
There is.
Oh,
Yes,
All right.
indeed.
Well, then-
Sane there is your fellow Arun.
oh, she's the Arun. Sweet. So so he knows. Okay, that's good. So on this longboat, near the very kind of the back, there is. I don't know if you'll let me do this or not. But there is this extra set of oars, with slightly longer on them. Of course, you know who had these installed because, well, sometimes you gotta let some rage out. And Aaron
I'll go for it.
Aaron will take his seat, looking over the entire longboat, gripping those oars tightly. He will tame this sea.
Oh god.
The storm will fuel his rage.
Oh goodness.
Am I the only Galliard here, actually?
Yes you are.
Oh boy.
You guys have the Galliard, they have the Philodox. For what it's worth, Runa, who I believe is the bottom left for you guys, does, as she comes up onto the ship, I mean, as it's kind of hard to tell unless you've seen her before, and Krar probably hasn't had a chance to see her without all of her shit on, does come on and does give him a much lighter pat on the shoulder. She seems to have taken some kind of liking to him. It probably doesn't hurt that she has this fat, sleek raven perched on her shoulder, who, as she gives him a pat, proceeds to croak loudly at him. That's you, Krar. Or Craw? What is it?
I'm really sorry, Katie. I was trying to write my list of allies.
Oh, okay, you're good.
So a raven has landed next to me. Yes.
Raven chick there, the one with the mask. Albeit you only know she's female because you've heard her voice. She has this fat raven that tends to sit on her shoulder. Big, sleek motherfucker. And as they're all getting aboard and getting settled, she'll come by and at some point give you a much lighter, less, well, get a Fenris pat on the shoulder. Almost a vaguely reassuring gesture. The raven, of course, croaks loudly at you. He has an opinion. He's sharing it.
And Krar will back.
It puffs its feathers up, kind of like, oh, you don't say. But gives itself a shake off and continues to stay perfectly content, settled on her shoulder for the moment. Hope you don't get seasick. From Runa.
Seasick? Oh, trust me, I'm already sick of the sea.
She laughs. And as the lot of you essentially, well, for all intents and purposes, buckle in. And yes, Ironclaw does stay in Lupus. He just plops down wherever he fucking feels like it. Keeps an eye on the lot of you. Always staring, always judging. But yeah, as everyone
Krar
gets settled.
him right back.
Hmm?
Krar judges him right back.
Here's the question. Does one of you want to take initiative on I don't know if the longships, I assume they had the drums for the rowers.
I mean, yeah, they did, but to save energy, okay. To save energy, you would mostly try to use the wind, but if you were sailing against it, then you would put down the sail and row.
Yep. For the moment, it's you getting out and away from the water's edge. You need to get out into the water proper before you throw the sails.
Yeah, good. Okay, good point.
Yeah, I can do that.
Seated.
Do you want me to roll like charisma performance or something?
Sure.
Sure, Bree.
What is your performance there, buddy?
It is song and dance.
As long as you are singing while you're drumming, I'll give it to you.
Yep, that's what she does. That's the
that
whole
Rowan
point.
tune.
Yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
And on that note, yeah, it's perfectly smooth movement. You start drumming, you start singing, the kinfolk start rowing. Arn probably starts rowing, and yeah, it's the process of carefully maneuvering. And you've managed, I imagine, to work into your songs the commands for, we need to go this way, we need to go that way, etc. So you guys will very smoothly get off the out of the shallows, work your way through. I think there's a strait there to get you into the Baltic. But yeah, you are well on your way, because that was pretty fucking good. Now here is the fun part where there is survival rolls to make sure you guys keep your heading.
So who's doing that? Because Astra is keeping the beat essentially to make sure that the boat is rowing properly. We're all in time, we're all in sync. So who's doing the survival roll?
Krar is welcome too. Dite will make a roll, and then the other pack actually.
Aha! Krar can make this roll. Intelligence survival?
Yes.
Oh, well. Vikings, here we go. Okay. I have absolutely no idea what my intelligence specialty is going to be, but it doesn't apply here.
Very well.
Well, that's one success.
Let's see. They've got +3 survival from Hoffen. Then we'll say even base pool 5. These guys. So between you and you'll note that the other pack, because Arn's taken to rowing, she's taken to drumming. It'll probably be you and Runa who are keeping an eye on the heading. It'll be God damn it. It'll be Sunny at the rudder.
Mm-hmm.
And Ironclaw and God damn it, I scrolled. Why would I do this to myself? And Jasper are just settled in for this part. Smooth sailing, you know. So you do, in fact, keep your course. In this case, you do not have Sea Drake to help you along. But there is that fat raven. And as you guys make through all right, and you spend a good while, sooner or later it will come time where you've gotten to where it's clear enough that you can cast up the sail. Don't have to worry about being too near to land, any of that nonsense. Which the kinfolk will promptly tend to. Those seated closest to the center of the boat hop up from their oars, you know, pull them in and prop them, and go to pull out the sail. Let's see if there's any tragedy that occurs. Just for funsies. Nope. It goes perfectly smoothly. They hop up, they cast the sail, catch the wind, and you are on your way. Would you like to do any chattering with the other pack? There are kinfolk that are fond of either pack there. Obviously, various tie-ins. Whether it's lovers, family, friends, etc.
I'll chat to the Lupus because she's just stern as a fucking Lupus. Fuck it. Fuck it.
Yeah, you can pop down next to Ironclaw. He don't give a fuck. He just
she's
a glance up at
down. You. She's like mid, like carving a piece of apple with like her knife. Ironclaw.
Astra.
Looking forward to the raid.
Always.
Just smirk. Look over. How much do you think you'll bring back?
The maw finally kind of rolls open. The tongue, you know, protruding the slightest bit. More than enough, even after I eat.
Scrapes along like the skin of the apple dropping in her mouth. What do you know of the place we're going to?
Farming town.
Do we know if any of our people are close by or anyone else?
Again, the tongue lolls out. Not close enough to matter.
Good. Just smirk to herself.
As long as no one gives warning, it will be easy picking.
Nods again. You know, plopping more of the apple and like lolling the tongue out so it lands perfectly on her, you know, in her mouth. What do you make of the pack us working together then? Are we going in as a unit or going in separate places?
And he glances to one, you know, to the one end of the boat where Arn is. Well, who knows what now that there's no need for rowers. But glances over to Arn and then glances back to... Oh, I'm still getting used to the name Sane. Who is still at the rudder. Albeit, you know, lazily just steering as needed. I suppose that is up to them. We could move as 2 units or 1.
Just nods her head. It's often better if we work as 1 unit anyway. Shield the wall off and is the more frightening tactic.
He bobs his head.
Besides, you have to show them what Fenrir is all about, don't we?
We do. We just have to leave enough. None of your burning everything, or there will be nothing to raid next year.
Turns and looks over those wild eyes. But they won't remember us then.
You think you are not scary enough to remember on your own?
It's not about being scary. It's about reminding them what happens when they provoke the might of who we are. The dragon calls for blood and fire. Who might refuse him?
There's a chuff. He's used to your shit.
Used to her weird like...
Used to her getting needlessly fucking intense. It doesn't seem to bother him at all.
Yeah, she just happily sits down beside Lupus. For some reason, it's easier to talk to Lupus, probably because he's not fazed by her shit.
Not at all.
Like she'll share an apple with him and all that, and I'll let the other people talk.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to have an issue snapping up apples. Would any of the rest of you like to talk shit?
Yeah, 1 minute.
Go, Car.
If Krar talks shit, he's gonna get his ass kicked and tossed overboard. So,
I mean, you could just talk amiably, but talking shit is so much more fun.
but if I talk, then that means I'm not listening.
That's true. It's true. That's probably why Runa doesn't mind hanging out near you most of the time. You don't fill her ear with babble.
Yep, because I mean, I am not a chatter. I'm the opposite of a chatterbox.
And
So-
especially with the sail up, you'll note that again, her fat raven buddy kind of gives a croak, gives a bit of a hop, flaps his lazy ass up there and props on top, and will kind of go between just kind of lazily sitting in the wind and periodically kind of opening his wings like, I'm flying. But doesn't really bother much than that once he's up there.
And Krar sees him, and he wishes he could fly, because then he could escape these nut jobs. How many days has he been with these people, these savages?
Clearly too many already.
Too many already. And Krar can count the days in his head. And he's spent way too long with them. By the way, what time of the year is it?
You said raids are normally done in the summer, or I don't know. Someone said something about summer raids. Whatever time of year the raids normally begin.
Summer rains, just like summer raids. You can never expect them.
I don't know. Learn me a book, Nick. What time of year do they generally raid? I assume it is while they're there's the opposite of planting and harvesting and all that shit.
Right. Summer is fine. Winter is also fine. But let's pick summer because heck.
Because you don't want to make survival rules yet? Because it's cold as balls?
That's right. You better believe it. Right here shivering his ass off in the Scandinavian winter.
Yep. We'll say it is that point between planting and harvesting where it's like, well, we can spare the hands now. Go.
All right. So, yeah, but Krar wishes he could get back to doing what he does, which is not exactly. But for now, he's stuck, trapped in this rat trap of a pack. But of course, he'd never say that to anyone or out loud ever.
As he's thinking that, he just looks over and just sees the eyes of Asher just stare at him. He's like, ugh.
As such, he'll get a waft of that. It'd be in summer. It's kind of that almost musky, wet dog smell. As on Aaron kind of taking a cautious step, stepping through people. The pretty crowded boat. Giving Dite a good heavy clench of the shoulder as he gets past her, and he'll make his way to where Sana is.
Yep. Sana is still just plunked down on her trunk right by the rudder. Probably, it looks like she periodically glances up over to where Runa is on the bow of the ship to correct as necessary, but the sail's doing all the work for now, so. And she'll look up as you approach. She doesn't hop up from the rudder, of course, but raises a hand and offers it up for a clasp.
Oh yeah, there's that again. That clasp for strength.
Of strength.
The glistening muscles echo and shine in the sunlight.
Ting. Bishi sparkles happen. It's terrible.
Damn right. As they both begin to go super. No.
Super.
He'll smile a bit. That kind of like, haha, yes. So, Sane,
Mm.
what do you think the plan should be? What is your opinion? Fight as one, or do we strike and pincer?
And she pops up a toothy grin. Oh, I like pincer better. We always get more loot than you that way.
Oh, really?
Oh, yes. You burn too much.
Maybe you don't burn enough. They'll
Maybe
be
you
running
can't
from
take
our
back
side.
those who are burning alive.
But they remember our war cries, Sane. There'll be more running towards you, and well, more for the taking for us. It's about playing the long game.
How is it playing the long game when there's nothing to come back to next summer?
Oh, there is always bountiful harvests.
And how do you think that will go when they have nowhere to store it here and take it to another village?
Oh, then another village. Double the loot.
She kind of grunts, double the walk.
Double. A bit of a walk, scaring the great Sane. Oh.
I think it scares your Ragabash more than me. Kind of jerks the nod over him. Because, let's face it, he's probably a lot scrawnier than the rest of them.
Oh yeah, he's only yeah, you know, he's pretty scrawny.
So, yeah. She says this all with, again, that big toothy smile. Poking good fun.
I might even steal a cart at this rate. Poor man, I think his knees will give up.
She gives you a good pat, like actually reaches up to give you a pat on the shoulder for that one because, let's face it, she's pretty entertained. He's pretty scrawny.
So, pincer it is. Do we flip a coin for lefts and rights? Make it a little more interesting.
How about I have Jesper there actually do something with himself and take the rudder. We play punch face over who gets to pick.
Excellent.
Then yeah, she'll give
Does
a
she
whistle.
stand?
She'll give a whistle, and Jesper will kind of like perk up and glance over.
All right, Kate, I need to say one thing first.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as his hand touches that rudder, no matter how gripped it is, that first punch is flying.
And she'll call him over. He, you know, he's a little more slight than the rest of y'all, but you've seen his shit. He's a sneaky fucker and he is a smart fucker. He comes and works his way around, kind of glances between the two of you at the fucking like imminent doom eyeballs you're making, and slips around her, and she will stand up, hand still on the rudder, watching your shit. And the second he sits down and snags sharply a hold of it, she'll pick up the hand, but I will give you first shot before we roll initiative because it's funnier that way.
Yes, Aaron will now apply punch to the face. Is that cold shot technically, or is it just standard?
I mean, I assume you guys are just punching back and forth over and over. You don't have to specify the face. Just a fun term for a fun game.
Yes.
Yes.
Three successes. Might of Aaron Clinton. All right, so it is strength plus successes. 3. 2.
I might give her some quick dots here. That makes sense for an Arun. So I have something to work with. All right. See if she How much she soaks out of that first punch? It's what, 2?
That's 2 bashing.
Yeah, I'd say it's reasonable for her to have that. Fuck it. Son of the fucking, or daughter of the fucking alpha. We'll give her 4. So she soaks 1. You get first blood, though, as you clonk her real good, and she adopts that vicious grin and begins to circle around, so they're moving a little further away from the rudder, but...
He just smiles like, yes! And so it begins.
Yes, I did that.
I am that sheep. I don't give a shit.
Oh yeah, you clock her real good. There's just a tiny split lip going so far, but it's just enough. It's just enough to make it fun.
All right, her turn to punch me.
Hoist a swing back.
And, hey, I got. Is this actual punch face or is it just? So are we literally just giving each other turns until one of us falls?
Pretty much. I mean, that's the
Swing.
plan, unless you want to be crazy and blow rage and shit. But this is just for funsies.
Literally just punch face until one of us falls. Gets to decide.
Yes. Oh, let's see. You know what? I will make her like that. So. Boop. That is 1. So. And I assume strength, does that give you any bonuses at all?
No.
It's just flat strength plus
Okay.
successes. The
So I
punchy
thought.
punch.
Fabulous.
So flat strength for that one.
Oh, nothing. She skims you.
She got 4 strength. Fuck.
She don't fuck around. Daughter of the alpha. She's got to make a show of shit.
Oh, you're doing a very good job so far. Ha ha.
Maybe it's because she had to maneuver around you, get you further away from the rudder.
Of course.
Make sure we didn't spill poor Jesper overboard.
Cunning plan.
Cunning plan.
That is 2 successes as Aaron goes forth for an amazing, almost kind of not really punch. And that is only 4 this time. Another 2 bashing as he lands it. Sock on the chin.
Oh, she soaks it.
Oh, doesn't give a fuck.
Winds up. Note that she is smiling broadly. Jesper looks just fucking upset as hell that he's stuck at the rudder because he wants to take the bets. The kinfolk have moved the trunks, off to the edges to make room for people to walk and sit and whatnot, and they're starting to kind of cheer and make some bets. Because why wouldn't they?
Astra's just staring.
She whiffs.
Straight in for the next one. 2 successes again. Goes in for that punch. That doesn't do enough. She whiffs and slides over. He goes in for the gut punch, just meets rock hard ab.
Like, dunk.
Dunk.
Oh, let's see. Fucking whiffs again.
Aha!
This pull means nothing to her, apparently.
Right, now I'm doing cold shots. So head.
Alright, so what? +2 diff, +2 damage?
Yep. He misses. Swings wide. Just because cold shots. Hopefully we'll do this quicker.
Yep. We'll go for your gut. In fact, we'll make it a cold shot gut. See if she can hit you somewhere that counts. Wait, helps if I change the right number. Boom.
Boom.
Damn. Damn.
Plus. And yeah, she comes in and it's the just hams it in, pummels right into your belly.
And he takes it over.
It's one of those ones that bows you over and lifts you a little bit off your feet type things.
But he will continue to swing because he is Aaron.
He is untamable.
Tamable. Just so I'm right. Bashing doesn't incur wound penalties. It's lethal that does that, or is it?
I think bashing does.
Oh Jesus! All right. I'm not sure how that's going to work then. So he's wounded.
I won't. You know what? For this, I'll say fuck it. Don't even worry about wound penalties. This is such a bullshit little fight.
All right.
It's a scuffle. Go for it.
Yes, that was a headshot as well.
Hot.
So it's
Plus 2
strength
damage.
Plus 2.
That's
Three.
what 3.
And that is lethal to the head. Shit.
Soaked it.
Jesus. The only thing she's rolling good on, really, besides that one shot. You clonk her in the head, and it's enough to kind of whip her head around, and again, she turns back, just grinning fiercely. She's having a good old time. Makes some snide comment about love taps. Goes for another. Jesus.
Eep.
Stop. Plus. Fucking rolls.
You could always spin rage.
But if I start spinning rage, you'll spin rage. We need rage. We need rage.
Poke 1.
Fucking hope so, or else he needs 2 more to go up. Up 64 d10. Wow, these fucking rolls. All right, he takes another clonk.
It's okay. This is the time to get the bad rolls out of the way.
Yes, it is. But he isn't done yet.
He
That's
isn't.
more like it.
There you go.
It's 3, and that's not just for showing that. He is going to swing. And,
Swing, better swing.
Fucking damage rolls, too. Fuck
Jesus.
me!
I'm sorry. Her soak is ridiculous. Apparently, her fucking specialty is no. We'll go for another cold shot just to. Another gut punch. Jesus Christ.
Oh, damn it. The fuck?
A soak.
What the fuck?
I don't know. I'm sorry.
Jesus. Jesus.
Yeah, he's out.
I've never rolled this well a day in my life, PC.
My God. Well, yeah, he's out. You know, he's like crack and just like falls on his ass like, oh.
Yep, we'll say this time she manages to hook around for the kidney, and it finally drops about. She, of course, throws up her fists victoriously and, steps away from him, let him recover.
And he drops to one knee. Well fought. Yeah. So, which side would it be, say?
And she'll finally turn around once she's gotten some cheers and offer him a hand back up. Suppose I'll choose once we get a look at it, won't I?
Just kind of the smile of, sure, why not?
And yeah, hoist him back up, and lets him go to recover, and retrieves the rudder from Jesper, who is again just so fucking sad, especially as people are exchanging little bits of this and that, preferred rations, maybe a piece of coin here and there. It's like, man, sulks his way back down onto the deck.
Ash is just watching her brother eating an apple slowly, judging.
Naturally. Yeah, Aaron picks it up pretty quickly. Doesn't really seem to give a fuck. And like, oh, it was fun. Spits out blood.
Oh yeah.
Wipes his mouth. Yeah, makes his way over, and he'll sit down with his sister.
I was gonna say, who doesn't mind that you lost?
Oh, of course.
You're covered in blood. That's twice as sexy.
Exactly.
She latches on like a fucking lamprey.
And eventually, after calming his wife, he will sit down with his sister, making sure not to bring his wife over because he knows what'll happen. Can you stay there, honey? I'm gonna talk Garu now. Yes, that's the thing. Just stay. Good. And he'll sit down next to her.
Who are you sitting there next to? Me?
You.
Yeah, she's just staring at him, eating literally sticking the point of the knife in the apple and just putting it in her mouth. You lost.
She did a fair swing.
I'm just saying it counts for people. The child of the alpha and child of the beta. The child of the alpha won.
Of course. Merely now we have to take advantage, sister. She will, of course, take her choice of the pick, but we have to make sure we get all the loot.
Loot, yes, of course.
Well, after having, I assume what will be the less, how do you say, fruitful side, have to make sure that we still come on top. We adapt, endure.
That's why we send the Ragabash ahead.
Exactly.
Make sure the fire delays the other pack while we go in.
I shall speak with Dite.
Nods. And I know they like to talk about how we like to burn things. That just means I'm going to make the pile higher and higher.
I look forward to it, sister. I look forward to it indeed.
They should probably walk over to Dite as well.
She is there, chilling. Actually, she gets a fair amount of attention from kinfolk because she's not quite as choosy as some people are, and gets herself a good amount of favor and favors in the process. Just more accessible like that, but she'll kind of extricate herself when she sees Astra headed her way.
And Aaron.
Oh, and her.
And he'll kind of slump down beside the big heavy doof.
You get a careful pat on the shoulder and the suggestion that perhaps you shift up and get all that dealt with.
And he will. I'll just roll for it. Why not? Is it stamina primal urge?
Stand primal urge.
I got a lot of that.
Astra let out a whistle for the Ragabash to come over as well. She picks up some raw meat and begins to eat it. Strict carnivore.
So, I gotta ask Katie.
It's gotta be a bitch.
I gotta ask Katie just one thing while this is happening. What would the reaction be if he went straight Krynos because it's Diff 6 being all?
Honestly, these are all kinfolk.
They wouldn't really give two shits. All right.
As long as he's not off dramatically to one side of the boat and tips it, they don't give a fuck.
The boat probably hates you for life. It's like
there might be some creaking of protest, but other than that, the kinfolk will shoot a glance back. They'll probably give you a little more space, but other than that,
he'll kind of go up to the mast, kind of straighten his back a bit. You hear the few cracking, the bones kind of shunting back into place. As he begins to shift upwards and just full stretches upwards. That kind of 8 foot tall, arms raised and those claws shining a bit, almost like a bit of almost like a mascot, so to say, is the oncoming doom of what's to hit these shores. And when it's kind of eventually faded away, he'll just relax back down after that big stretch.
For what it's worth, especially because you're stretching upwards and right at the base of the mast, that raven perched up on top of the sail is gonna croak down at you as though he disapproves, but he doesn't do shit about it. He just kind of, does the and stays up there. Yep, that.
And then he will plump himself back down as Krara finally joins the rest of the pack.
They're going to have first choosing, to say.
First choice doesn't mean best choice.
No. But my brother here did have a plan.
Oh? And what plan was that?
I tell you, Krar, it is quite the cunning plan.
Oh,
There it is.
plan,
There it
I see.
is.
He smiles and leans forward a bit. So, lingering ears cannot hear, so much to say. So, assumption is that Sane will take the more fruitful side, the one with the more bountiful harvest, so to say. Of course, you being the Ragabash Krar, you're first off the boat. When we choose the side, why not make a little more diversions on theirs? They don't like burning things. Well, we have to pay chimneys to fire drakes somehow, other than just gold.
Perhaps we could direct the smoke right to where they're going.
Ah.
That way it causes a minor delay at least, and won't impede them too much.
Now, isn't that interesting? Arn, you know you're a very crafty and cunning person.
I'm glad you agree. Smiles triumphantly, like, yes.
Looks at the urge.
I do have a question. I'm sorry. Are there 2 packs on this boat, or is there another boat with another pack?
Nope, you are both on the same longship.
Mm.
They take a good number of hands to fucking row and man, so you were both on the same longship. Friendly competition in that you're seeing who can call dibs on the most treasure, but
Is there more than one Ragabash?
there is. This fellow here,
Damn it.
Jesper, at the bottom right, is their Ragabash. And he is, you will have heard, you haven't been around as long, but the rest of them know damn well. His one claim to fame is he is really good at sniffing out, not just where loot might be kept, but the places where it tends to get cached. He's really good, especially the places that are regularly raided, etc. He is good at finding that barn where they stuff everything in the hayloft, or that one cellar where they throw their goods in the hopes that they will have something left after the raid's over type thing. That is his dealie. So it is quite the competitive thing they got going on.
As a general, as a general, where in Europe are we going? I mean, are we going to modern day Germany or modern day Poland or those little Baltic states or?
I am up for suggestions because I imagine they don't want you going too terribly far. I imagine the furthest you'd go is Poland, more likely Germany.
Probably a mix of Germany and Poland if we're going across the Baltic. Yeah, Germany and Poland. Otherwise we're going out toward like France, Belgium, and like England if we go the other way. So Germany and Poland would make sense if we're going west.
Yeah. I thought that we were sailing east into the Baltic Sea.
You are.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry.
Yeah. So it makes sense that we're going to hit Germany or Poland or somewhere like one of the isolated villages along that coastline. So it would make more sense.
Like in Pomerania, for example.
Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, sorry. Let's go on. Okay. You know. Let me ask you. Does part of your plan involve taking more loot than our friendly rivals over there?
Well, that is the entire plan. That's why the plan exists, Krar.
Oh, well then. I understand perfectly what to do. Arn, you are a genius.
He just kind of looks at him like, all right, buddy, that's enough. Pat, pat. Just do your job, Krar. Make sure that we come victorious. We don't want to disappoint Fire Drake now, do we?
Fire Drake, no. I'm perfectly fine not being drowned, thank you.
Astro then look at the Theurge as well, and if I can cause the fire, could you spread it?
It's not hard to give chiminage to fire.
Make the fire blow in a different direction, though. Would that be difficult?
Chiminage to
More
win.
likely convincing it to crawl the way you want. The wind's harder to temp down.
Perhaps if we make sure that we burn something nice and big.
With the right chiminage, with the right feeding. Fire is very motivated by hunger.
You leave that to me, then I'll burn everything I see.
Then it should be easy.
Are we leaving any alive? Should look up at her brother.
Only enough to tell the tale.
One, then.
There are always runners.
Good. One will do fine.
Here's a pat on Astra's shoulder. Just don't forget this time to keep it long enough that it'll remember what you say. Because the delirium's a hell of a drug, and it's the big old erase button.
Don't worry. We'll wait. I'll wait.
No, I have no doubt. Your ability to send a message is, She glances to where the other pack is similarly huddled, chit-chatting about their own tactics. Unrivaled.
Perhaps I could do something as well to make them a bit nervous if you want. After all, the Galliard's omens are something very, very interesting indeed.
Then,
Nods. Sometimes the mind works better than the body. Unnerve the mind, and well, I've seen even the greatest of runes stumble. She'll wink over at her brother. I am untamable.
He leans into today and says, "She's right, you know."
there's just a look between them like, you motherfuckers. Like the why you do this. Just remember, if they fumble the raid, if something goes wrong, he points at Astra, make sure you're not the reason.
Of course not. After all, I'll give them a tale of what to do. Should they frown? A tale that inspires determination, but also a fear of failure. It's not my fault they didn't rise up to the challenge, is it?
The eyebrows kind of loft and I see your shit, but you do you. As you see fit, Beta.
Nods. Krar,
Yes, Astra.
make sure you take one alive and leave him away from where I will be. Leave him alone in one hut that is untouched by fire.
Why, of course, Astra. Of course I can do this.
The freshest one you can find.
The freshest one. Oh, of course I'll find the freshest one.
She smirks from the stand up, like fixing herself, like getting ready, like, oh, I'm planning some devious shit type walk.
Her devious shit walk.
Yeah,
Is that,
pretty much.
Is that an official classification?
That's a classification. It's all
As,
sassy and everything.
as Smooth Criminal begins to play in the background as Astra moonwalks across.
Like, does the lean into the other pack as well, where she leans down, going straight down, you know what I mean?
Sonny, are you okay? Are you okay? Are you okay, Sonny?
That's pretty much what she's doing.
You approach the other pack. At the very least, Ironclaw is looking at you like, I see your shit. Mostly because this is his default expression, and you know it damn well.
Default judge mode, like, I see it. No, it's not there, but I still see it. I still see it.
I see it. I'm not necessarily going to do anything about it, but I see your shit.
She'll walk over pleasantly, you know.
Your shit, and I raise you one judgment.
Yes.
She'll walk over very pleasantly, like hands clasped together.
And of course they'll lift their heads up, pause their planning, their plotting. And Sane will of course lift an arm. Astra!
Sane.
What brings you over?
Well, I thought that we can, doing my duty as a Galliard and making sure everyone is prepped.
Is that so?
Mm-hmm. Well, I've been inspiring the kinfolk, and she'll look over at the two boys. They're like, oh, probably bouncing in the seat, essentially.
Kinfolk intensify.
Mm-hmm.
Wait, let me get it for you.
Kinfolk intensify. Well, they will challenge anyone.
Challenge anyone. Absolutely.
Prepping everybody, and I thought I would share and break bread with you and lift our spirit, even in the long sea.
Of course. And she'll shove Jesper over a little bit, move down the trunks, and pad a spot for you.
She sits
Sitting
down,
back
like,
down.
plunk. Looking around at everybody. Can I make perception empathy on the room, then see what I'm looking at? What am I dealing with?
Sure. You can indeed.
Apart from the fucking Philodox being like, I see your shit, Missy. I got 2 successes.
2 successes. All in all, they're in reasonably high spirits. I mean, for one, this is your first, unsupervised raid, which is awesome. For 2, their alpha just totally won. They get first picks on which side of the town, like the village they go for. How could they not be hyped? So all in all, fun competition aside, they're pretty jazzed up. They're pretty ready to go. I mean, Ironclaw is always just kind of on a default, but even he has, the ears up and twitching, the tail lofted just a bit off the floor. They're looking pretty amped. No, again, they poke fun and teasing jokes about the fire and whatnot, but they're pretty hyped, and they hardly mind you being there. You're a fellow raider.
Just smile at them all. Everyone's in good spirits then.
How could we not be?
Well, I just wanted to give you all a tale that my father used to tell me the whole time before we went on raids, and from what he told me of raids, might lift your spirits, but also give something of a more confidence boost for everybody.
Well, then let's have a tale. She lifts a hand and essentially gets the attention of the kinfolk as well, because hey, raiding story, something to boost the morale. Let's do this. And in fact, calls a lot more attention. So yeah, the kin have kind of gathered on the deck. Some have pulled over their trunks to sit on. Others, like the Skolson brothers, are practically drooling right down the deck from you. But
that Astra titties. Yeah, she's picking up mead and, making a small little fire, like, to hang off the side of the ship as well, so it doesn't, fall into the ship or anything like that.
I imagine there's, I can't remember how to say it. Brassiere,
yeah. Razors.
Yeah. One of them means titty holders. I can't remember, but either way, there's one of them things, big metal bowl that you can stoke a fire in.
So she will then, begin. She'll turn to everybody walking along. The tale I tell is of Surt, the fire giant, bringer of Ragnarok and glorious, glorious comrade of our dear father Fenrir. Surt would spend days prepping his ship, prepping his blade, day after day after day, carving the same blade again and again, confident in his victory. For he would often brag the loudest of the giants, tell everyone around, brave, noble Surt would win, for he was given first pick to raid, first pick to choose, first place to land in fair Asgard to slay the evil Allfather. She picks up the mead, takes a swig of it in her mouth, storing some of it in the side of her mouth because she's learned this trick. And but brave Surt forgot one thing and one thing only when it comes to the deviousness of the Allfather. She picks up one of the braziers and that just spits it out, so it makes a huge waft of flame going up in the air. to add more thematics about it.
Give you -1 diff to your story roll.
And before I'm still telling the tale, but it's just more thematics. Cert charged in nobly, picking the first raiding choice, for of course he was the most confident. He was Cert, wasn't he? And it turns out that brave, noble Cert, indeed with his death may have caused Ragnarok and the victory of Fenrir. But died not because he was brave, but because he was foolish, because he didn't think. And the lesson today, yes, may not think of your spirits being lifted, but instead rather give you the resolve, for quaking boots may come, the world shall quake, but we are resolute. We are forward and thinking. We are not mindless beasts. So choose not the idle gold, choose not the idle victory. Choose the message. Like brave, noble Cert. I'll roll my... What do you want me to roll, Katie?
I'd say for charisma performance, and yeah, take a -1 diff because cinematics gets the people going.
Holy Mother of Jesus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I think that's a 6 actually with my charisma specialty.
Hot damn. Well, in that case, for the combat, because it is warning you against being unwise, I'll give you +1 wits. It'll apply to your initiative. And let's see. Give you a willpower as well. 1 temp willpower for the combat.
Aha.
And she'll turn, like judging the room essentially on how that reacted to everybody.
Well, you first of all, you see Aaron like, yes!
Let's do a couple checks just to see.
Temple about fuck.
You're welcome, brother.
I mean, shit, Gerard is impressed by how you can command a room. Or
temple power +1 temp.
Yep, essentially for this scene, or at least for that raid, +1 willpower for the scene, +1 wits for the raid.
Beautiful.
Yes. I'll say, all in all, most people are pretty hyped about this. There was fire, there was talk of raiding, there was talk of battle, and there was some mention of caution. I'll say that Ironclaw is yet again he's still hype. He's still amped to do this raid. He is giving you a touch of the side eye, because he got that subliminal messaging. He's onto your shit, but he doesn't seem especially fussed. The others, Runa is, not as enthusiastic as the other two, just because she's rarely enthusiastic. But Jesper and Sanai seem pretty amped up. They're all about it. Story time. Fuck yes, fire giants. Fuck yes.
She'll grin to herself as she walks and sits back down beside the pack. That should at least get them overconfident. She'll wink.
We shall be victorious on this day, sister.
She puts her arm around the Theurge. She knows she's taking, stabbing into a piece of raw meat and taking a bite out of it. Like, yes, I have done well. Now I must eat meat.
Yep, you hunker down next to Dite, and she is chilling next to that fire that we have for starters. Because you know what? If she talks to it now, she shouldn't have to talk to it later. So she has not scooped up one of the coals, but in fact taken one of the well, no, she's just talking into the slowly forming coals as things are burning down, or are burning, and there is coals forming. And she is murmuring to them, obviously in spirit speech. It's hard to understand. And finally, after a couple moments, we'll give you a pat on the shoulder, and we'll probably step across to have a proper conversation where she can see and hear properly. And the other pack will quirk a brow, maybe. but they don't seem to think much of it. It's a Theurge doing Theurge shit. We're going to say the boat has a number reflection so she doesn't just step across and fall in the water because that would suck.
She does it in one of the polished iron centers of the shield.
Yeah.
There.
So yeah, she just slides on across to be shifty, as you have instructed. Meanwhile, you are coming around. You've been on the water for a hot minute. But you're getting around closer to where you're planning to make landfall, and people are starting to pull their trunks back out, get ready for the rowing, and finally Dite will reappear, looking very pleased with herself, and go to sit back down next to Astra.
To give her a grin, all good.
She nods towards the metal fire dish. Just take one of the coals with you.
Nod.
Meanwhile, the other pack is hype as fuck, and as it's getting to the point where the sail is getting pulled, Runa here calls up to her crow, kind of, again, makes that obnoxious cawing noise, and it, of course, flaps over and lofts onto her upheld arm. And she'll stroke it a couple times, talk to it, and as you're getting closer and closer, finally pitches it up in the air, and of course, this thing, like I said, I mean, ravens are big. This one's especially fat and sleek, so it kind of gets tossed and comically bobbles for a second as it, snaps the wings out, gets those first couple flaps going, but heads off towards land. Hot shit.
Uh-huh.
So yeah, Sir Birdie Bird starts flapping towards landfall.
So, how far away is land? Is it in sight?
I'd say it's reasonably in sight. We'll say that you've been aboard long enough for night to be falling because it's more advantageous to you. So you can see the glow of people's homes and hearth fires and whatnot.
Excellent.
I'm going to shift over to I'm going to shift over to Lupus.
So,
This is wise.
are you going to be saying a thing, Nick? Because En's going to do some things.
Oh, so before he shifts, Krar will look at Astra and tell her, first off the boat, and then begin to shift.
Yes, now listen, Krar. When I give the signal, you know what to do. And you will know it. Oh, you will know it when you see it. You understand me, Krar?
Krar will say in high tongue, yes, of course I understand.
Excellent. And he pulls a knife from his belt. He begins to walk to the highest point on the boat that's not the fucking mast, where it kind of turns up at the end, away from the land.
I should pick up bits of the coal brazier as well.
So he'll walk to the back.
You'll note that Jesper has likewise said a thing or two to his pack mates and is likewise shaking his way down to Lupus in preparation. Sticking close for the moment because, why swim any further than you have to? But
So
definitely trotting around, getting himself amped.
So as the boat's coming in, it's getting that little bit rougher as they come to shore. Aaron will take stand at the back of the boat, kind of high up, raising his both arms open wide, and letting that shaggy hair kind of flung back over his back, and he'll just shout out across them, "Brothers and sisters, today we take blood. We take loot. We take all in his name. Fenrir, listen to me. I call, and this blood is devoted to you. And he'll go from the right shoulder down to the left hip, cutting himself. Probably like, I want to say 1 lethal.
Sure.
And he does that across and passes it over to the other hand, into the left hand. I offer this blood to you and all of theirs that we spill today in the name of the great wolf Fenrir. And as he finally kind of crescendos and lets out a mighty roar across everything, that Arun kind of pushing forward, he's going to take the left one, go from the left shoulder down to the right hip, and just kind of X mark across his chest.
Yeah. Yeah, I'll say you can take like a total of 1. You're
And
not.
hey-
I imagine you're not cutting the fuck out of yourself.
Oh,
so.
no, it's kind of just enough to like, hey, this is red now.
Mhm.
You can see it. It's bits of blood. And hopefully, if I can, he timed that right to be as the bow hits the sand. Nudge, nudge, wink, wink, Krar. They're all looking at me, hopefully.
Yeah. So actually, while they've been all looking at Arn, it would be a good time to make it first off the boat. As Arn has been doing his whole look at me, I'm intense.
Witness me.
Witness me. As he's been doing his whole, Immortan Joe routine. Krar has made his way to the, I suppose the front of the boat.
Yep.
And he will jump off before anyone else and just take off.
Lupus Scamper, engage.
Yeah, like ha! Now Astra can't beat me senseless.
Let's see if Jesper catches onto your shit and jumps off too. We'll do wits alertness for him. Let me ponder a moment. 6. Oh, he's got that +1. I'll make it a little more difficult too because it is dark, and you are probably pitch dark in color as well. So we'll put him a higher diff.
Well, what can I say? I am a shadow.
It takes him a
Definitely not
second.
a shadow lord.
Definitely not a Shadow Lord. To be fair, Ironclaw's pretty dark furred too, so it's not really a bit against you. It takes him a second, so you definitely get first landfall, but Jesper does manage to just see your tail disappearing over the edge. Maybe hears you hit the sand. Not likely. Probably sees that little flash of tail.
Mm-hmm.
And he starts scuttling towards the bow as well. So you've got the lead at the moment, but he likewise pops over the edge, makes landfall, and starts probably shooting in the opposite direction, actually. So one of you circling around. Well, I guess you're heading the same direction initially because you're not going to fucking make landfall right at the village if you want them to scout ahead. So yeah, he's a running, tongue in the breeze, hype as hell.
What does he look like?
And Lupus?
In Lupus form, what's he look like?
Oh, let's see. I've got some spare wolves here. Me take him, and we'll replace him with. Where are my wolves? There's my wolves. That one's already in use.
Jesper.
Well, we'll make him look like this because I like this one.
Okay. So, so as he's going way over there, it's time for Krar to shine. It's time for his plan to come to fruition. So, as Krar makes it more toward the village, he will be doing some active listening for, I mean, let's be honest, in the Middle Ages, people have good reason to fear the dark.
Mm-hmm.
So most everybody will be inside their homes. Is it actually night or is it dusk?
I would say this is like late dusk. This is about the point where like anyone who is lingering out is starting to get in. This is
Mhm.
also just to give you enough time to scout around. So the chances that you'll be spotted are pretty low, especially further away from the homesteads, because there's no like city lights in this setting. There's just a little bit of glow close to home, right in the village. So as long as you stick to the outskirts, you're probably fine. There's maybe some lanterns out where there are barns, because nice little farming community. I don't know if it's sheep or cows in this area of the world, but it's one of them. So you'll maybe see a bit of a glow out in some barns, but even then, it's not really lit on the outside. The whole point is them finishing, getting everything bedded for the night, and then probably you'll even see one person with his lantern, making his hurried trip back to the village, probably with a dog.
Oh, with a dog? Fuck.
I mean, like you said, the dark is scary.
The dark is scary.
So yeah, just some little mutt doggo.
Krar is going to let this guy pass.
This is not the only barn. This guy is just smart.
Oh, of course, but still going to let him pass.
Oh yeah, you'll see him scampering, maybe casting glances out into the dark, but he's not going to spot you. Not with a lantern right there in front of him. His night vision is fucked. So yeah, he'll be glancing warily out over the fields and whatnot, but he hurries right along, and the dog, of course, scampering around his feet. But there are other barns and other lights. Some of the barns are still lit, in fact. There's probably someone still in there doing their shit.
All right. Krar will go to one of these barns that has someone in it. And there aren't any animals in this barn, are there?
Absolutely there are.
Well, Krar is going to shift out of sight up to back to Homid form.
Mm-hmm.
And he is going to stand just within view of the light, and without going in the barn and spooking all the animals. Who is in the barn? Can Krar see?
Let's see. We talking Poland or Germany here? Let's say Germany. Just unless you guys have a preference.
Germany's fine.
Yeah, Pomerania, Germany.
Let's see if I can find you someone to accost.
Someone to accost. I mean, it can be purely just some mug that doesn't need a face claim or whatever you want, honestly. Krar doesn't need to remember who he accosts.
But this is part of what makes it fun.
Okay,
the player
fair
has a soul, even if the character doesn't.
Okay, fair enough.
Oh, let's see. Some of these are far too fucking fashionable. That needs to stop. Whoa, oh, yes. This guy is lovely. Go with this guy. So quickly. Boop. Boop. And there we go. Got us a nice little peasant guy here.
Oh yes, a nice little peasant man.
Yep. And as I said, I'm not even sure if this would be like. Can you give me an idea of like what would be actually naturally occurring in this area as far as like stock animals? Would it be
animals?
Sheep, cow, pigs? I don't know.
Cows, sheep, and pigs generally.
Yeah. I mean, fuck. Yeah. Like.
Yeah.
I mean, to a point, it makes sense to separate. Like in this time period, I know that that people in the British Isles were separating sheep from cattle and those things from pigs and those things from chickens. but I don't know about agricultural techniques of the rest of medieval Europe.
It'd be cows, sheep, and pigs. You know what I mean? They'd be all separated away from each other. But cows, like sheep and pigs especially would be a big commodity.
Yeah, and actually, the pigs would be kept in a sty, and in a barn you'd either have cattle or horses. But horses would be for something you would, put in a stable. There might be one if they have, if this person's barn, is wealthy enough, then they might have a horse or a ox for field work. But I mean, even that can be rented to your neighbors for field stuff.
Yeah, we'll say he's in here and there's a couple cows in there doing their cow thing, not giving a fuck.
Okay. Well, Trar will stand at the entrance of the barn and just, look at this guy while he's in helmet form.
Give me one moment to toggle around. I have too many windows, and I need to remember what you look like to see how jarring this is.
Oh yeah, appearance 1, charisma 1. Just
Oh my god.
hey. Oh god, no.
Oh god, yeah, you are scruffy AF. He just kind of he of course whips around at the throat clearing and kind of gets a huh, because you are. Let's face it, you're kind of eerie looking.
Oh, Krar is eerie looking.
And thus in German, will you seem lost. Can I help you?
In German back. As a matter of fact, you can help me. Tell me, peasant, what do you know of the supernatural?
He is now retreating a couple steps further back into the barn.
No, don't retreat. I'm hunting werewolves. Did you know that there's one nearby? Does your bishop know that there's one nearby?
No. Werewolves.
Yes, you fool, werewolves.
I should. He's like looking at the cows like, oh god, my only source of income.
Yes. You better beware, for it will attack your cattle. But I am here to hunt it for you. But I need permission from your lord first. Where is your lord?
Can you remote me some like manip sub or something to because let's face it, you're scary enough. This could totally be convincing because it must take a scary motherfucker to hunt werewolves. But
Yeah,
he's
right.
like
werewolves.
It's like werewolves. Where, like, a mysterious man out of the shadows appears in your barn. Werewolves, I'm hunting them. Do you know where they are?
He's like,
Where is your lord? I need his help. I need permission to hunt the wolf.
Fucking brilliant.
All right, that's going to be 2 successes at difficulty 6, unless you say it's a higher. But 1 at 8.
I doubt it'll be more than that. Let's see if he buys it. I'll give him a nice low pull here. We'll give him like.
Oh, he's not buying it, is he?
Well,
I think you're technically the defender.
I'm gonna make you the defender because I don't know. That's just how I roll. So he is obviously very kind of leery on it. He's not, hook, line, and sinker buying it. He still looks very leery of you, in fact.
Mm-hmm.
And has kind of, again, he has retreated a couple steps into the barn. So you're hanging out of the doorway and he's back like still between you and the cows because my cows, but he's not looking so confident. He just over in the village over there, kind of like, or actually probably points off to wherever the appropriate lord would be. I imagine they don't stay with the peasants.
No, if it's the 9th century, the lord would be in a separate castle, like miles away.
Yeah, so he just kind of points off in a direction, like
but fortunately, this is the Holy Roman Empire.
Is it?
This part of Germany will be part of the Holy Roman Empire. And
tell me what that means.
The flaw of the Holy Roman Empire is that there were so many smaller tracts of land that eventually it got really confusing. But you could say that at least for this village, like, I mean, roll a chance die, high or low.
Sure.
I'll choose high. Let's say
Okay.
that the Lord is far away if I fail.
Okay, so high roller.
High roller.
Baby.
Oh, he's miles away.
Yeah, he just kind of
Oh,
points
my
off in
lord.
a direction like,
My
these
Lord is
lords.
always there.
You should you should definitely go talk to him. It's about this much time's travel that away.
Mhm.
Like, oh yeah, you should that away because he would very much like you to be that far away from his barn right now. You kind of creeping him.
No, you fool, that will never work. Krar
You-
says as he
you-
steps into the barn now.
you
And
said you
he
would
does
need
have Mark of the
his.
Predator by now. The animals.
Yeah, the
should-
cows are going ape shit.
No, you fool, that will never work. I need permission now. Where is the highest ranking person? And I'm just like coaching him.
He's scaring the shit out of this poor peasant. His cows are going bananas. They're
Where is the
actually
highest ranking noble near this village?
He's actually like actively trying to ward you off with like a lantern. I don't know why he thinks this will work, but that's what you do, right? And then he's kind of got the lantern between the two of you, but he's freaking the fuck out. He's like, they're pointing back towards the village.
Well, surely it is within your power to take me there. You'll be safe from the night as long as I'm with you.
I need
After
you to roll
all.
for that.
Oh my god.
This man is scared as fuck. He is not convinced that you are safe at all.
Manipulation subterfuge.
Yeah, do it.
Jesus Christ.
1,
Oh,
2,
shit.
3.
Let's roll his piddly die. This poor fucker. What are you, Tenor? Why would you sub out my shit like that? No, you got him. You got him. He's apparently more afraid of the dark than you, but not by a lot. Yeah, of course I could. Yeah, no problem. Just oh my cows.
Good. Now don't worry about your cattle. I've spilled this werewolf's blood before, and he can smell me, and he'll know that I'm here. He'll fear me and know. He will know that I've been in your barn, and he'll avoid you.
There's a lot of anxious nodding as he is like edging around you, trying not to get too close, but he's supposed to lead you out. So just edging around to go for the door.
And Krar will follow him out. Heading to the highest person in this village.
Probably the village elder, I'd say, in these times.
Soon you will realize the brilliance of my plan, people. Soon.
So what is team raiding doing essentially while he's getting closer? What are we doing?
What, team raid? The other team?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
they're fucking amped up talking that good shit. Let me pull my shit back up here for a second. Yeah, they're talking that good shit about, this and that and all the people they're going to kill and all the shit they're going to get. And talking about, oh, it's spring, there will be calves and blah, 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 we can bring back and everyone will be so fucking pleased with us. Because they don't have to prioritize gold. Because, again, they don't have your Achilles heel when it comes to totem. So, yeah, they're talking about the people, talking about the, obviously Breaker of Men is all about bringing back, the most, those big farming lads and whatnot.
Asher judges her like, I will find the perfect specimen before you.
But yeah, they're just talking about all the shit they're gonna get and all the people they're gonna kill and blah. They're just amping up while their Raggy's off doing much similar to what yours is doing. He is not getting nearly as in depth. He's not going into the town. He is making a good jaunt around it, pausing here and there to kind of assess what's where, but is doing a much quicker version that's basically him circling the place, getting a rough idea, and planning to come back to be like, we want this bit.
Well,
And I will take a quick bio. Give me 1 second. Too much coffee.
Asher's gonna look at her brother. We should go in. Like she's vibrating with violence. She's like, I want to kill.
Wait, sister, wait. We had a deal. Must honor it. As soon as they make the choice, whichever side they want, our feet hit that sand with fury. Remember
Let's let us sigh.
plan, sister.
I always do all this talking.
As I assume, because Aaron is practically still bleeding from his chest. His wife is just wrapped around dry humping his leg, essentially. He's just kind of stern talking to
Oh
his
my
sister.
god, Arn? Arn? Can't wait to fuck you, Arn. Yeah, baby.
Oh my god.
Huh? Arn? Arn?
Stop.
Yeah? Yeah?
Stop your fucking invoker making that noise. It's distracting.
I was just saying, Katie, because Aaron kind of like cut his chest open, he's like covered in blood a bit. His wife is probably just dry humping his leg.
And pretty much.
Remember the plan, sister.
That's how it goes.
And it's like totally okay with it. Loves it.
She's pacing. She's just pacing, waiting. Like she's fucking vibrating with violence.
She's like licking the blood off your chest. She gives zero fucks how many people are seeing this.
Oh, he's just like open armed, just like yes. Like, oh, fucking yeah.
Y'all too much for me, Jesus Christ.
Like, yes.
Yeah, Astra's watching the pack wait for the fucking Ragabash to come back so they can tell where to go so she can just run in, essentially.
Yes, indeed. So while he is making his quick round, he will be back well before Krar. But let's see what Krar gets out of this prolonged work here. Let me go back to Mr. Peasant, who's very upset right now. He's having a rough night.
Yes, and Peasant should be leading him to what counts for a mayor, or in this case, it would be a burger, since it's the Germany's.
That guy.
Yeah, that guy. Basically.
Yeah. He leads you in, and you said you have Mark of the Predator?
I have Mark of the Predator.
So yeah, there will be like you bypass like someone's chicken coop close to their home, and like the chickens start going to ape shit. A couple dogs start barking here and there from inside houses, kind of bang at the door. But he takes you right up to the guy's banner or his nicer house, and knocks rapidly on the door. Very very. There's a lot of nervous energy going on. The sooner he is out of your company, the better.
Ah, so this is the house, is it, Peasant?
Yes, Mr. Hunter.
And a hunter I am. Well, stay with me. You should be rewarded. After all, you led me here.
Oh,
And so,
oh, of course, yes, just what I wanted, essentially.
yes, stay with me.
He's having such a bad night. So yes, before too long, because it's night. People are eating and getting hunkered down for the evening. But yeah, sooner or later, I imagine a mayor or whatever will have whatever live-in whatnot. Someone will answer the door while you're furiously knocking forever. Bonk on the head. I don't know. But again, this is all in German. Just like, oh, what can I do for you? Is there some emergency?
Well, of course there's an emergency. This peasant, his barn was nearly attacked by... Well, I don't mean to cause a panic, but his barn was nearly attacked by a werewolf.
There's like
Yes.
a lean out to look down.
Don't lean out, you fool. If the
Like,
werewolf
look down
spots
the
you...
alley, make sure that nobody's like hearing this, and like quickly pull him in.
Right, and Krar, reaches back and pulls the peasant
Oh
inside
god,
as well.
the peasant was so sure he would make good his escape, but no, he's tucked in with you. He's still not happy.
Yeah, and so so Krar is inside. Yes. Now, where is the local burger? Where is your master?
Like, oh, he is just finishing his meal. I will fetch him for you, sir.
Very good, very good.
Token peasant person. Token.
Yeah, and as
whatever scampers off.
Yeah, as servant goes away. You know, peasant, you're very lucky that I came to town when I did. I've been pursuing this wolf for half a year. Its trail of destruction is second to none. But I've made it bleed, and it fears me now.
Should I? It's like, shouldn't I be gathering people? Shouldn't we, torches and pitchforks it, essentially?
As a matter of fact, yes. What a fool I've been. I've been alone for so long. Yes, go. Gather a mob. Gather a mob of men and women.
He immediately flees. Goes to gather a fucking mob.
Pitchforks and torches! He yelled in German.
Yeah, you could hear him running through the streets, like shouting and whatnot, knocking on doors, pulling people out. Now comes the fun part where we will see if fucking god damn it, what is his name? Jesper. If Jesper sees that, there's some unusual activity going on or not. Bless his heart.
Did he already leave?
Oh, that's true. Let's roll a fate die to see if he's even close enough to spot your shit. You want high or low?
High.
He still has to make a roll. Because he's not close. He just sees some activity stirring. Let's see how well he fucking keys in on this. Oh god. What the fuck did I roll for him before? Give me 1 second here. I can be less of an asshole. Okay.
Knowing you, Katie, you're gonna get like 18 successes.
No, actually, just one. So he sees that there's some activity going on and is maybe concerned, but he maybe won't understand the depth of what's happening just yet because they haven't gotten that stirred up. It's just this one panic dude kind of running over to a couple neighbors and talking animatedly. And so he sees that something's going on, but nonetheless will continue his skirt around and head back towards the ships. And anything you do from this point on will be unobserved.
Good. Very good. So Krar will wait patiently for the burger to come.
And yes, he comes a-rolling, as most tummy nobles do, or mayors do even. Comes a-rolling, almost literally.
Ah! Burger! Surely you do not realize the terror that has now begun to stalk your village?
What?
Ah, exactly, sir. You see, as I have told your servant, a werewolf now stalks your lands.
And there's, of course, the, werewolf.
Yes, fear not, for I have come to slay the beast.
And here's where you make your roll again.
The werewolf.
Spend some willpower. Spend some willpower.
Jesus.
Thankfully, these are fucking humans and they're peasants in the Dark Ages. The education ain't so good.
Oh my god.
Success is the diff 6.
He's pulling it off.
This is why we keep him around.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Hook, line, and sinker. Oh, werewolf. Oh, we must make
there's a werewolf in my community. Oh no.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh my god.
Oh, surely we must summon the local Teutonic Order. Teutonic Order? Yes, we must summon the Inquisitors. Inquisitors? Oh,
yeah,
I gotta go.
Pretty much.
Okay.
He just hook, line, and sinker, full panic. We must inform everyone. We must send runners and starts bustling around, ordering around his servants, like it just full crazy mode. Everything's terrible. I must save my village. I don't want to die.
Now, listen to me, good burger. You must gather up as many priests as will leave their church, whatever friars, whatever holy men you have. for they can help protect your peasants. The almighty power of the noble god shall preserve you and I. Now,
Oh, yes, of course.
now I sent
Raise the priest. I gotta have the
Now, I sent one of your peasants to go out and gather up as many men and women who can wield a pitchfork as possible. For, as you know, we are safe in numbers.
Yeah. He's sending his servants off in every direction. Someone's like quickly running off with a letter out the back door. Someone's going to rouse the men of God from their beds. Another one goes off to help raise a mob. It's fucking ridiculous. This is a flurry of activity.
Now, the most important thing, Krar will tell the burger, now, I thank you for your help. I've been alone in this hunt for so long. I've forgotten what good help is like. Thank you, noble burger. But I will now go and try to flush out the werewolf. If you hear it howl, gather up all the peasants on the east side of the village. For there we shall make our stand.
Okay. He's just nodding like, oh, yes, of course, yes. This makes perfect sense because you know what you're doing because he failed that role.
Yes. So Krar will, leave the house. Will leave the house and he will go out. And
you see people gathering in the streets with torches.
And he will trust that the burger will tell them what to do.
Mm-hmm.
And the Krar, the werewolf hunter, who never gave his real name or his name at all,
he never did,
into the woods to flush out the beast. And he gets out there, and once he is far from the eyes and ears of the people, he will shift into his lupus form, and he will give a mighty howl, and to the Garu, they can definitely hear, all the treasure is on the east side of the village.
Oh, God. Oh, Lord. All right.
Beautiful, Nick.
That is beautiful. Now, here is the question, is whether he assessed it the same way. Was there, how about, let's see. Did you take time to actually assess the layout as far as, like, is the manor, the guy's nicer house on the eastern side? Is there some reason you chose it, or did you just choose willy-nilly?
Yeah, Krar has intelligence 5. I don't. I'm sorry.
That's fine. I'm giving you some leeway.
You have intelligence 5?
Yes. Krar has intelligence 5.
That's what you call a fucking mental primary right there.
Fucking Einstein over here. Jeez.
Tubbs voice. Intelligence 5.
E equals MC squared. Well, first of all, what is E and what is equals MC squared?
Okay.
None of your concern. Yeah. Basically, I'm having I am saying that the east side is the poor side. I mean, no. Whichever side is the poor side is where I want to say the rich side is.
Ah, but there's another Reggie for you to contend with on that.
Yeah. That oh, hey, the poor side is where the real riches are, motherfuckers. The real riches.
Because I'm not sure they're going to buy your shit. That's why they have their own scout.
Mm-hmm.
Would you say that he is making a point of putting this? You said he's pointedly going for the more impoverished side of the village.
Yes.
I don't know. Like, you've pulled off a good thing, but I don't know if they're going to buy your shit as far as choosing which side.
Well, you know what?
Let them choose their own side. Let them fuck
All
up.
the wealth is on the east side.
What I would do with some advice, I would send them in just in the direction of where the mob is. You don't have to tell them east or port side. Just say,
as far-
Intelligence 5, everything looks clear on the east side. That's where the mob is.
Thank you,
Yeah,
God.
I was gonna say, I feel like this is a good plan in your Intelligence 5. But yeah, considering that they're choosing sides based on what their Ragabash comes back and says looks more wealthy, you could very pointedly put the mob in the way so that it will take them longer to get to the wealth, even if they choose the good side.
Yeah, because he didn't necessarily see anything, so I would bank on going everything looks clear on the east side. Boom. He'd be like, yeah, there might be some minor activity, because that's all he saw. There you go.
Yeah, when he left, that's all he saw, minor activity.
There we go. That's Intelligence 5.
There you go. So are you sending the mob to essentially guard the more valued side of the city or the village, so that it's basically, yeah, sure, you got the good side, but by the time you get to the good shit, we'll be through our half and into yours.
Yep.
Okay, very well. So regardless of what you howl, you have set up a good thing.
Yes,
so yeah,
I have.
as y'all hear this howl, he is, oh god, Jesper has gotten back and is animatedly reporting, and he doesn't mind you guys hearing too, so he's animatedly reporting what's where, and oh yeah, that howl, yeah, there was some activity, so we should be aware. Definitely not a Shadow Lord, definitely not. But yeah, they're already picking sides based on the fact that, like, well, there was a church and there was the one finer house on this side of the village, so we're taking that side where all the mob is. And they'll start spilling out, basically saying, the admittedly well meant, good luck, fuckers, and they all jump to land. The kinfolk are starting to jump and split into their two parties. So you're good to make landfall.
As soon as she says, we're taking the side, Aaron just turns and like, yep. Super like hero landing off the side of the boat and just runs.
Yeah. Astra's like running full speed.
Yeah.
Did Astra kept the coal, right? Or who has the coal? Does Tidus have the coal? Or does
Astra has it.
Alright. Good. Remember the plan, sister.
Oh yeah, she's moving. She's just moving. Like, she knows where she's going.
Yep, you guys are moving. This bitch is leading a group of kinfolk with you. The other group of kinfolk have gone to follow the other group. Or the other pack. And yeah, you split off and each of you get in position to fucking pincer attack this poor little village. Poor little village with a mob on the wealthy side of the village. Now, you are coming on the more, quote, impoverished side, but that means that while most of the others will have animals closer to home, like stables with actual horses and whatnot, it means that you guys are going to come past, where people have their sheep corralled for the night, the small barns for the people who are working large areas of land, etc., etc.
I do have smell of man.
I don't. I have the complete opposite.
She'll probably stop, like, put a sword in front of her brother. Let me corral the sheep toward. You move around the side, away from the animals. We'll need the cattle.
Good call. He'll kind of bolt off to the right, and he'll begin to circle around, kind of coming from the whatever side we're on, but the north side of it.
She will send the Skolson brothers. She'll walk up to the animals and just hold out their arms, because smell of man, they're all gonna flock towards her essentially, and she'll just have the two Skolsons lead them down towards the ship essentially. They won't be in the fight with her, you know what I mean? So she'll just this way.
This is one of the cool things about having an entourage of kinfolk. Yeah, some of the kinfolk will, especially since we have put it at that time of night where everything's kind of shuttered up. Let's roll to see if there is. I imagine if there are sheep, there's probably... No. For this one, I'll give it to you. There's, a bunch of spring lambs and stuff that will probably... Assuming you don't, beat the shit out of them, the lambs will probably travel back all right. But hey, the bigger sheep are definitely good food, or you can take them as well. It is up to you. But yeah, the brothers will start... And, they go so far that they don't have a problem with it. They don't have werewolf laws, so each of them scoops up a lamb in each arm and starts well, one of them scoops up a lamb in each arm. The other one starts grabs the shepherd's crook and starts kind of herding these really annoyed sleepy sheep out.
She just nod at them like they've got this. So she'll start moving on her own, like taking out her hatchet, probably looking back for Ditty. We'll turn and look at her. Where do I plant the coal?
She kind of tactically thinks about it and glances over. Not this far out. It won't spread far enough. Better one of the houses. Because the barns, they'll go up like a torch, but your fire won't be able to crawl where you want it to from there. It'll just take out the barn, and that'll be the end of it.
Oh yeah, she'll just keep going then. Just keeps running then. Their kinfolk basically steal all the sheep and the cows and shit. Yep.
This is the upside to you guys being farmers on the off season. They have zero issue. The animals may be a little... Like, there are some that are more ornery than others, but that's fine. Any you get are good.
Yeah, and just start running, roughly getting to the point where Ditty says to throw the fucking coal piece.
Yep, by the time you are close enough to do that, you will be getting in towards the village itself. And yeah, you will be able to see on the far side of the village a lot more light. Like, again, villages, I assume at night, are reasonably low-key on light sources because most people are indoors. And this is a small enough village that it's not like they're having street lights and shit. So you will see that there is a good bit of light on the other side of the village, and probably some, like, the sounds of combat and screaming and alarm and whatnot, because, let's face it, they went over where the other pack is attacking, and the other pack does not give a shit that there are people in the streets. More glory for them. These are farmers.
Looks over at the ears and probably just nods and like, now, you know?
Yep, she'll gesture to where you've got a good, looks like you've got a good starting point, and let you go do it.
Yep. She just tosses it in and then starts to smile to herself. As you know what? It's time, Katie. I take Krynos, I'm going to activate Call of the Wild.
Do it.
I will. So I take Krynos, I roll Stamina Empathy. Hot diggity Jesus. That's only just one, I think 2 successes. Yeah, it's 2 successes.
I'll still give you a point of rage for that.
Yeah, so it's mainly for her pack, essentially. All her own pack.
I call shenanigans on your trying to specify who can hear, but...
No, but you know what I mean? It's like rage, you know. She's like mainly hoping her pack gets the majority of it type of thing.
Oh, they'll definitely hear it clearer, and they'll be more amped by it than the other crowd, but they'll hear the echo. Then yes.
She's like, yeah, here we go. Burn, Fenrir, burn. Should we do initiative, Katie?
How all are you attacking this village? What are you doing? You have flicked a fucking coal into one of these poor people's houses, but what is the plan?
Loot. We need loot. So basically, Aaron's going to be there as, of course, the Arun be like blood for the blood god. For any of those that want to stop us trying to get loot, and he'll kind of give his orders for the rest of them to do as they do.
I'm going to activate Visage of Fenris on anything I see.
All right.
I am the terror and I am the night.
At least for the moment, most of what you're going to encounter are people's, like, people have been stirred out of their homes. The fathers and sons have gone out with torches. So most of what you're going to encounter, let's face it, are people's wives, people's children. Not enough to give you a really good fight. They're real easy to slash down, especially if you're in Krynos. Are you guys going in Krynos, or are you guys going in Hamid to make the actual snagging of loot easier? Here's the other thing. You do still also have your kinfolk with you, some of them. Others are ferrying animals, but you've got some of the kinfolk around as well.
What I would do is I will go in Krynos, so I will be the beacon, essentially, that like basically distracts everybody with Delirium and Visage of Fenris while everyone else grabs loot, essentially. That's what Astra's thinking.
Yep, there will be, the screams will start as you spill into these, for the most part, abandoned or half-abandoned homes, and encounter, the wives, the children. There's screaming, there's crying, people are trying to spill out and run. You have mothers trying to carry their children out the door, trying to get past you. Even, one of the houses you bust into, and this mother will give a cry and run into the back rooms. You might catch her like handing one of her children out the window. But all in all, you don't have a lot of protest because someone has made sure that all of the people who are especially combat worthy are on the other side of the village. You might have one of the women like desperately come at the kinfolk with like a fucking frying pan or something, you know, a cast iron pan. But once there's a Krynos involved or Visage of Fenris, they're just gonna fall out.
Yeah, I rolled up Visage of Fenris now. Oh yeah, that's
They're
like
horrifying.
That's like that's their specialty. That's like 4 fucking successes. So yeah, but Astra kills everything in sight. Nothing survives around her. Like she's killing everything.
All right, you are cutting down women and children. It's glorious and not at all terrible.
I know, but for the blood god.
Yeah, you're getting your blood for the blood god. There is a fire creeping along some of the homes. Those thatch roofs are not good for, you know, retarding a fire. So,
and he's going to make his way to the biggest house he can see, because he's hoping that of course, you know, the riches will be in there, but of course, the most worthy warriors will be defending the richest of riches, right?
Oh God, you you go straight through the streets. There's not a lot of protests. There's finally some stirring. There's some torch wielding figures headed back your way, but all things considered, you have almost no opposition as long as you're doing it early on this initial run right to that poor burger's home. Because he does in fact have the biggest, nicest home.
Yep. Well, he's like, you know, fair point from his beta to go around, not to stir the animals too much. So he did, and he's like, oh, shiny.
Oh yeah, you go straight in. You busting in Glabro, you said?
Yep, full Glabro. It's like, rawr!
Oh yeah, you slam in. I'm not even gonna make you strength test the door because they're meeting the werewolf out in the field where it is lurking in the poor side or the rich side of town. So yeah, the door's not even barred at the moment. The burger is, you know, pacing and while he's waiting for this werewolf slayer to come back and give him news. And then you bust in the door and he collectively shits himself and runs squealing like a girl deeper into his home.
Yeah.
Oh, he's gonna chase him in.
You taste
like,
you,
come
you
here,
piggy. Oh God. You're not even speaking German, so he has no idea. He just knows that you're yelling and you've got blood all over you and you're giant and fluffy and it's terrible. You're the hairiest man he's ever seen in his life. No, he is running through the house screaming again like a girl. The servants, meanwhile, you know, they booked. As soon as that door crashed in, they were like, nope. But you're chasing this rotund fellow. It's not much of a chase. You managed to, like, he gets as far as like into the dining room or you know, the dining area and like almost makes it to the hall. He doesn't make it to the hall. Would you like to see if you can one-shot him?
Well, I would first, but of course, Aaron's been on a few raids, and he'll grab this man by the scruff of the neck and lift him up into the air. You know, that Glabro stone's coming in. He did this on purpose. He doesn't want this guy to be delirium, because as he looks him in the eyes and almost snarls at him, where's the gold?
What language do you have, buddy?
He speaks in whatever language Aaron speaks.
Norse.
Norse. So he's like,
yeah. This man just babbles and cries back at you in German.
And he is this guy wearing a gold necklace at all or anything like that?
Oh, probably. He's probably got some ornamentation. There's some nice things in this home, definitely. He's the wealthiest person in this village. So you've seen a couple key things that look pretty valuable, and yeah, he's probably got some big necklace or something or another.
Yeah, he'll just snatch it off his neck and just ripping it, almost probably tracing a bit of blood. It's just the sheer force of metal cutting across chubby skin.
Another girlish scream.
And he'll just hold it in his face and say the word again, gold. And kind of shake it in his face as he's holding him up with one arm.
They're a shaky arm points as this man like pisses himself.
And he'll kind of shove him over to wherever he's pointing to get him to open it.
he will eventually lead you into his home, and just very shakily stumbling along, crying, kind of manages to bumble his way to where, probably a chest or something where he's keeping storage of his own wealth, and pulls out a key and takes a hot minute because his hand's shaking everywhere. It's infuriating how long it takes him to get the key in the lock. But eventually we'll put it in there and twist it and lift it open to where he's got, whatever coin good he's got. And he stumbles back and away from it, hoping that you will be distracted by the coin.
He would, but and doesn't care much of the coin other than that's what I'm after. And as he kind of sees it kind of glisten, he'll just turn and look at the burger, and just that smile as he'll just go straight in with those claws. Do you want me to roll for it, or
if you want to see it? I mean, you're gonna kill him, but if you want to see how grievously you managed to do in a single shot, feel free.
For cinematics.
Consider him prone. He's on the ground crying like a baby.
He, just looks at the chest and smiles as he turns towards him, and does that almost, you can see the kind of it building in him as those claws kind of spur out on his right hand. He dashes forward, grabbing him, thrusting upwards through the neck and lifting him up into the air. And as he does it, fuck it, because I can. As he lifts him up, and he'll lean him real close, and in German, the very, very few German words that Aaron knows, he'll just say, "God bless."
I'll give you that.
Yes.
He just wails in terror.
And then he just rips his head off. And he'll send a pulse through the pack link if we have that. Do we have that?
I'm assuming we do.
I don't know.
Let's see. Let me take a quick glance at some shit. Not her. Let me pull up one of you guys. Take a glance down at your totem. His cost is 6. Each of you has 2. Did any of you buy into totem?
No.
Nope.
Then, you know what? I'll assume Dete has 4, that she's bought 2. So sure, you can have a pack link.
You just all get the pulse jackpot.
Good.
I put what Astra is saying, in the side chat. Like, she's running around cycloning, killing every fucking thing. Like, burn! Burn! You know what I mean? Like howling up in the sky, like, it's just like this mad, like, ah! Like before the flames and Krynos. It looks fucking demented.
Oh my god. Here's a question. What's Krar doing while the raiding is going full force?
Well, you see, Krar has been waiting on the edge of the village for the perfect opportunity to pounce on a survivor. After all, the second part of his task was to leave one alive.
Yeah, you will. If you're perched on the edge, you will see where there's the very occasional sobbing woman or child is fleeing for their life. There are at least 1 or 2 servants that have busted out the back of the mayor's house.
Ooh, is the one who greeted me at the door there?
Yeah, fuck it.
Katie.
Yes. You're a little eerie sometimes. I just want you to know that.
Oh, I know. Thank you. I'm going to shift up to Hispo, right? That's the
Hispo is the wolf.
Yeah.
Wolf.
So I guess
it will not provoke delirium, but it'll be scary as fuck.
Yes, and it's that +3 strength that I need because I only have 2 strength. So I will go ahead and I will chase down one. No. I will chase down the servant girl who. Well, actually, what was it, a man or a woman?
Both say it was girl. Fuck it.
Okay. How old is she?
I imagine even for serving, it's fairly young. So let's find you A serving girl. That is a ridiculous costume. A lot of these are ridiculous costumes.
It is
Here we go. Well, we'll use this chick. She ain't pretty, but that's okay. She doesn't need to be.
No, she doesn't need to be. It's the Middle Ages.
Exactly.
I mean, I have to imagine that like chicks in the Middle Ages, like, I mean, it's like
it's not like
I mean,
there's dental care.
there's no kind of care. What are you?
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, you take Hispo, and let's face it, that you're not going to have an issue chasing down some poor serving girl.
Right. So I am going to just kind of like creep up, and then as she gets closer, I'm going to make a show of going, and I'm gonna pounce on her. But I'm not going to hurt her. I'm just going to pounce on her.
Yep, she will scream bloody murder and deviate course in the opposite of your direction, as most people would do when faced with a giant, hideous wolf.
Yes,
and
the werewolf. Obviously.
Yeah, exactly. No, she's horrified.
How horrible.
Oh God, yeah. No, she is convinced that she is going to die, which, to be honest, would normally be the fact of things. But yeah, you pounce on this woman, and she is screaming and flailing, and let's face it, there's no delirium, so probably like panickedly like smacking you with whatever she probably stole something on her way out, because that is what the servants do.
Because that is the way of the Middle Ages.
Yep. So there's probably like a handful of things that she drops, and she's got like a goblet that she is like trying to smack you in the face with, and it's obnoxious, but she's not really hurting you, especially not when you can heal bashing every turn. But yeah, she is screaming and sobbing and smacks a couple times, and it's having no effect, and just eventually just devolves into tears.
Yep, and just bah, 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 bah. And so I will, still in Hispo, just move down and lick her face, and then I'm going to shift down to Glabro. I have to go to Krynos before Glabro, is that correct?
You shift up and then down, yes. You kind of flow through them.
Okay, so the delirium doesn't affect her until...
I'll say, since it's a in progress thing, no delirium.
Okay, thank you.
But you will have to spend a rage or roll for it. Because you are engaged right now. This is not a thing where you can just freely kind of take your time.
No. I will spend the rage. Why not?
You even got a free point of rage earlier.
Oh yeah, I did. So, boom! Now I have my regular rage score. So now I'm this hideous wolf man guy, and I'm just like, appearance is 0 now. I'm basically a Nosferatu.
You're hideous, and she's terrified and wailing.
Oh, girl, you are so pretty. Expect your teeth.
Oh God, yeah, she sobs harder.
Disgusting. And to think I considered making you my wife. Well, congratulations. You are a little survivor, aren't you? Pat across the face.
More sobbing.
Now let's see that.
Especially because she can understand you now.
Oh yeah. Speaking. Oh no. This whole thing has been in German.
Yeah. It's the worst day ever.
Tell you what, peasant girl, I'll let you live, even as my Viking raiders crush your village, slaughter your burger, and burn everything inside. I'll let you live. But you have to promise me one thing, little pet.
She just nodding emphatically. Her hands are up over her face. She's still just wailing in terror.
I want you to go to the Lord of this land so that everyone will know.
Check the side chat, by the way, since you got pack linked, and I don't want you to miss it.
Oh, yes. As the kinfolk take the gold.
Pack link bit.
Oh my god. God damn it,
I love that
Tom.
you had to specify unspoiled. What the fuck?
Fucking.
She doesn't trust Krar.
Okay then, Pat, you get to live. Go to your lord. Oh, and before I forget, and Krar will just grab her by the throat and just.
She said send her to the church.
Just so you know, you have been told to take the survivor to the temple. That is what it says in pack link.
Oh, is that what it says in pack link?
Yeah, sorry. When it says PL there, that means pack link.
Oh, I'm sorry. In that case, retcon all of that.
It's okay. You could still be a creep.
You are coming with me, little pet. And like in his Glabro form. Yeah. Like like basically pick her up and throw her over his shoulder.
Yep.
And to think you thought I hunted the wolves. I am one.
More horrible sobbing. In the meantime, Arn has the jackpot. Have any of the kinfolk been sent to retrieve that shit?
Fucking better be.
Because they do not have the pack link, so I assume Astra has sent them over.
Yeah.
Fuck it. You know what? Fucking he'll let out a howl. He just howls.
They can't understand howls either.
Shit.
That's high time.
Oh, fuck me.
Astro's just point at the fucking kinfolk. They know what to do. The close sound stupid.
She can point at them and then point in a direction, and they'll get that. But since she's the only one who knows who is not otherwise engaged, yeah, you send them to the manor house. They start looting the shit out of it.
How much fire do I have around me, Katie?
You have, at this point, several of the homes are on fire. These are like, fucking old school thatched roof shit. It's going up like
I can
matches.
tell by the time we leave this place, this entire place would be burning, wouldn't it?
Pretty much. There might be one building or another that's far enough away from the others to survive the blaze, but the chances are pretty slim. The barns are going to survive.
And I'm assuming everyone is dead around me, right?
Around you, yes. Though you do have, I'd say it's been some time. Some of the mob has headed back your way. You have actually had to fight. You can either like roll some stuff, or you can just take cinematic damage.
I'll take
which
like
will
one
be
or two.
Slowly healing. I mean, it's lethal, so
I'll take one or two pitchforks, but like I imagine with Visage of Fenris active, she's fucking horrifying to fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So yeah, I'll take maybe like a couple of points of bashing. Nothing lethal.
I was
Nothing
gonna say,
serious,
you've probably taken a lethal here and there. You're probably healing it faster than they're dealing it, really.
Mm-hmm.
So you've got some blood on you, but more of it's theirs than yours.
I will relax down to Hamid and begin making my way towards the church, like kicking open the door, essentially. Hoping Krar is in there already.
Is Krar there?
Sure.
Is
You and your bestie here are at the church. She is cast over his shoulder and sobbing unless he has done something else with her. And wherever she is, however, she is sobbing helplessly. She has long since dropped her goods.
What's him to do? He's not gonna like. Well, okay. I mean,
He's a werewolf. He's probably gonna kill her. He probably lied. He's gonna kill her. She's gonna die.
Yeah.
Blubbering.
Oh, don't worry, he'll live. No, ain't gonna happen.
She'll say in Norse as well to Krar, link up with Aaron. Make sure the rest of the village is scuttled out. Yeah, he's in the manor house.
Once.
That's why I'm running.
I mean, she's been so focused on being the Cyclone of Death, so she's just assuming her brother is somewhere near there.
Yeah, you were Cyclone of Death. Now it's my turn to do that shit.
Yeah, it's just link up with my brother. Make sure all the gold is got. Move. In Norse, obviously.
Very well. And Krar just leaves her.
Here's a question or two for Krar. For one, did you snag up the valuables that the servant was carrying with her when you hunted her down?
Of course, but no one has to see that I'm holding them.
Of course not. Here's the other question. If you made it to the church first, I'm sure there was at least one golden cross in there.
Oh, yes, that's going deep inside my pockets.
Okay.
Deep inside its pockets is...
You have managed to make a decent little score of your own. There are probably still valuables about the church, but Yeah, you got the real good piece. The real good blatant out front, shiny piece. So yeah, you fuck right off. Astra is left with a crying woman who only speaks German.
It's even better. I'm assuming there's a goblet for communion, yes, right?
Oh yeah, it's just not
Well, there
out.
was a goblet for communion, but it's in cross. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah, it's not like right out, but yes, you can definitely root through the church and find some more valuables. This is probably where most of the valuables are, really.
She would take it, like examine it, because like, you know, and she see the wine there, and she's like, "What the fuck?" And she takes a sip from it, spits it out in front of the woman, which in front of the early Christian woman is probably horrifying because that's the blood of Christ, essentially.
She stopped blubbering a little once Krar left. Started kind of getting her faculties together, but seeing someone swig the communion wine and then spit it as if they're disgusted is not a good sign. She starts kind of making horrible, like wet whimpering noises again.
Yeah, she hacks the face apart with the fucking sword, and then will turn in front of the woman, plant the sword down, and kneel down in front of her, like covered in blood, as she's like got various bits of gold behind her and all that, in like a small net. Stare at her evenly, you know.
This girl has backed so far into a corner or a wall or a pew. She has scuttled as far back as she can until she runs out of retreating space.
She'll say in the Packling Krar, "You're this native tongue for Northmen."
Oh, what would you like to say?
Tell them the Northmen came and will come again and again. Should they ever come looking for us, they will all die.
Okay, let me think about that one. You will say, I'm really sorry, Torna. Could you repeat
basically,
what you wanted?
Basically, she says the Northmen came and took this place.
Okay.
If they come to retaliate, we'll take it again and again and again.
Okay. So what you will say is and now, in German.
Yeah. And she'll slowly reiterate it out as he's speaking to her, essentially. It's broken German, but
it's broken German, but it's kind of scarier because you are going to very slowly and inexpertly repeat in German what he tells you.
Mm-hmm. Looking at the woman dead in the eyes, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and it's even weirder because it's like, how is she saying this? What is this? No, but yeah, just like
she's pretty sure you are a thing of Satan,
some
sort of demon or something.
And you know what? Because Astra is the way she is,
you're a demon or a witch.
Should take the sword, and
she crosses herself. In fact, while you're talking to her.
Takes the sword, walks up. Astra very coldly walks up, twists her head, and the hand comes straight off. Mark of Fenrir, he bit off a hand.
The hand she crossed herself with?
Yep.
Oh my god.
I will remind you that medical care in this century is not very good. It is very possible that she die either of blood loss or infection.
And she best get running then, hey?
Yeah, that's what he'll ask Aaron to say that in his head, how to tell her to run.
One simple word. Tell her, run.
And she'll cut off the hand. The woman screams. Astra clamps the hand down with the part of her thing with tie, like a very sharp tourniquet, essentially.
Mm-hmm.
So she has some time, and then she'll just say in German, "Run," growling it. And if you need me to roll charisma intimidation, Katie, I shall.
You are welcome to. Please feel free to further traumatize the serving girl.
It's the Middle Ages.
I mean, you're working at a pretty low diff at this point, so you've got at least 2.
Yeah.
But that's okay. It doesn't take much. She, screams, and you manage to grab her hand. She's not really fighting back. She's horrified. So you manage to grab her arm and tie off the wrist, and you snarl at her to run in broken German. And she blubbers for a bit, and probably won't move until you move away from her because she's kind of cornered herself. But as soon as there's room that she feels like she can get around you and your sword, she will desperately crawl. And
does she look back at Astra at all?
With that roll, no, she just she stumbles. In fact, I'll say that as she stumbles, she glances back to see if you're about to leap on her again.
Astra licks her blood off the blade slowly in front of her.
Oh God, yeah. She stumbles and cries, and it's kind of a broken run because she's been through some shit tonight. But yeah, she flees church and runs off into the fucking night.
Picks up the loot, keeps walking back out. Humming one of the Fenrir battle songs as she's walking.
I assume you properly rifle the place.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, you'll eventually find you'll find like that communion cup. You'll find like some collection plates. You'll probably find the offerings wherever they've been squirreled away somewhere obnoxious.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, I will message my packmates. Is it done?
Rar will tell her, make sure to check the church's granary.
Granary?
Granary. Yeah, granary.
It's a nod. Whistle to her kinfolk to go over and check it. Essentially, she's walking around searching for survivors, bringing the ones that made it through her onslaught. They are coming with us. They deserve it. They survived.
You and your kin will manage to spot a couple of the people taking flight who are desperately running and stumbling through the fields.
Yeah, they're coming back with us because they are worthy to live because they made it through the Fenrir onslaught.
Yep. Fucking 99% women and children, essentially.
Nope, come with us. Come on. Zzz.
I assume Arn has thrown himself into the actual fight.
So, yeah, in the actual, depends what happens. Is it how? Is there enough people left in this town?
Essentially, all the men had been mustered out into the streets, so I assume that you jumped on that mob. That were waiting for the others.
He'd have gone straight into butchering.
Yep.
And by the time after all this is going on, the butchering happens. He'll take a few bits of damage, but
yeah, I imagine the dogs are actually more of a problem than the people were.
Yeah, the bits of bite, and they're so small. As Astra comes out, all of you come out the church in the kind of blood-soaked grass and gravel. In fact, you see Aaron and his wife. Oh yeah.
Oh, for God's sake.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
How is the other pack looking? Seeing as I think we made a killing compared to what they did.
The other pack is perhaps a little unamused that they got held up so badly. They didn't manage to raid as many actual buildings, but they didn't have the fire on their side of the village yet. And for what it's worth, while you guys managed to get animals and get a lot more gold than they did, God bless Sane. She is horrifying. Struck many of them with delirium and has had her kinfolk roping and chaining these basically the most capable looking men that fell to the ground that didn't outright flee. Her packmates chasing up the ones that had the sense to flee instead of fall over. So they've still done reasonably well. There's definitely butchered people, anyone that didn't look like they could work as a reasonable rower. But yeah, you will find her and her packmates. Ironclaw is, God help him, has gotten into a chicken coop and is having a good old time. But yeah, all in all, they haven't gotten as much in material goods as you have, but they have gotten more people.
Astra walks from out, like literally probably out the church, and but like the fire behind her looked like a fucking demonic demon of death walking up towards I'm assuming the Arun.
Yeah, Sane is still standing there in the center of the square in Krynos, ensuring that these people don't get their senses back about them. And she just looks over and nods to you because, well played. Albeit half the village is on fucking fire now.
She just nods. Message has been sent.
Good.
Looking at the fire like, yes. Any of the males worthy? Should like take a sniff like in the air, like you know what she's looking for.
There are bits and pieces here and there, but nothing that's enough to turn your head.
Should we leave or?
And Jesper comes trotting out of one of the better appointed homes, sack over his shoulder, looking as, happy as a pig in shit. He's obviously the one who is doing the better part of the looting. The raven is over pecking out someone's eyes, one of the slaughtered bodies. Runa is, well, she's doing her, which means probably playing in entrails. But all in all, Sane gives a shrug, pointing here and there. There are a couple more yet to take, but yes, it is probably time to start bringing the goods back to the ship.
Wonderful.
And her kinfolk are doing a very similar thing to yours, coming, taking what they can, taking a trip back to the ship, etc., etc.
She'll probably link to her packmates. When do you want to offer this thing to Firejack? Should we do it in the fire? She sounds so excited. She's like, yes, give it to me.
Yes. Yes. Oh God. Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. Sure. Let's do that. As Aaron stands up from the bloody mess he was enjoying, let's leave it at that. Fixes his belt, adjusts himself as he's still covered in blood, and he'll make his way over and send the ping out to Dite to link up.
Diddies. Get over here, Diddies.
Dite does respond. She comes back around. Probably has some small child tucked under her arm. What? There's some faint scent of pure breed coming off of the child.
Make our offerings here.
She kind of glances around until she sees one of the kinfolk and just kind of thrusts this small child at him, here, take this.
Yeah.
Kinfolk are for keeping, after all.
Well, Krar is the only one with free hands, so... Well, look at you, you ugly thing.
This kid's flailing and kicking and screaming. We'll say it's a little boy, so it's it's trying to punch him.
Hey!
You shake the sense out of it. You give this small child shaken baby syndrome.
Yep. All right, there we go. You see, the trick with dealing with children is you just need to shake them hard enough. Look, he's all limp now.
All right, Krar, hand him over.
Oh, all right. Here you go, Arn. Congratulations, he's yours now.
Just grabs
Raise
him by
him
the
as you
scruff.
would your own son.
Yeah.
Or
Grabs
don't.
him by the scruff of the neck and just kind of twists him around and just drops him in the hands of a kinfolk behind him. Yes, take this. Take the rattle away from the baby before he kills it.
What can I say? I'm just a big child.
Well, pull us across.
And yeah, Dite will do so. Oh! Fuck it, I'm not gonna roll. I don't give a shit. Yeah, she will pull the lot of you across. Although she will first hands out for the fat loots.
Yep.
Because anything you're pitching into the fire...
She probably gives Astra just this, oh, honey. She's hands out loot, bits of pieces of people. Here.
That's not... Here. She proceeds to give back the pieces of people because
Aaron
that is not what Drake wants.
Erin hands over the chest and then she opens it. It's the head of the burger inside it with all the gold.
There's an eye.
The top half of his head.
Should give Dite the most innocent look, but it's blood for him.
And of course, Krar hands her this, nice, large, gold crucifix.
Yeah, it got some gems and shit on it. And yeah, she is guys, I know you're enthusiastic, but Drake wants what Drake wants and Fenris wants what Fenris wants, so come on now. Proceeds to kind of pluck most of a head out of the chest and be like, that can just stay there, pat.
Picks it back up. It's mine.
mean, he can have it if he wants, but she doesn't need it for this offering.
Actually, she'll start hiding the heads of people to her kinfolk, put them on the ship.
Hang them from the ship.
Yep. The loot will get piled in the box. The box will get dedicated because she's a cheater. And then she will take it all across. And you too. You three as well. As the fire blazes. So as you come across, naturally, this would have been a very nice, pretty place, but now it's covered in fire spirits that are just hungrily and happily consuming everything that they can reach out and touch. Spreading rapidly.
Astra
multiplying, growing.
Astra just vibrates like I am touching myself tonight type look. Do you know what I mean? She's like, I did that.
And as Aaron comes across, the kind of the bold figure that he is kind of resembles still, but kind of looking around his hands all the way up to the forearm essentially is what looks like to be very faint, almost ghost-like chains essentially kind of wrapping and dangling down as his eyes go more a dark red. You could even see a glow coming from his mouth as essentially down his chest, almost bits of fur and pieces like that. And he just smiles. Looked fucking terrifying.
Yep, Karn looks pretty special too. Someone's covered in black feathers, I think.
Oh, yes, completely black feathers. I don't even look like a fucking wolf. Like a beak and everything.
I assume you're in Hamid, so yeah, you just look extremely avian. Very, all kinds of spirit heritage going on there. For her part, Dite has far less spirit heritage, but the golden eyes are blazing. There's, delicate red scaling on her fingertips, curved black claws. Bits and patches, maybe, but it's still fairly light. So it's mostly the hands, the eyes. When she exhales, there's steam and smoke, but...
Gosh, Astra just looks sad and roll her blood and guts. Like, I want spirit heritage. Type stare.
For what it's worth, she will actually look to you and basically just say, call out. Because it's not like the totem's standing right there. Fuck it. Scream for him.
She'll revert up to Krynos and she's like, you just hear it's like a cyclone fucking death march. It's like, Fire Drake! We bring you fire and blood and death and golden arena! You know what I mean? Just echoes around like a fucking siren wail. Hear me! She's like vibrating nearly.
Car, they're like, fucking killed me. And yeah, she even shifts up to Hal with you, placing the chest in the center of the lot of you. And sooner or later, after a pause, as the message kind of rings out, even the poor little fire spirits, or poor gigantic fire spirits, kind of begin to waft and gutter at the wing beats. That's your totem here. You find him? Your totem here? It's much smaller. He's still a little guy, but he's maybe the size of a hound. We'll say, because this is still fairly early in the game. But still, he's about the size of one of you guys in Lupus. He still manages to command a great deal of force. Like I said, the fire spirits gutter. He's still, he's got a very similar thing going to your buddy over there with the glowing eyes, and especially the much brighter glow out of his maw as he lands among you, right in the center, right on top of that chest. Mantles ever so viciously. He does not seem to know that he is small, as dragons go.
I am fire and death.
I am fire. I am death. My spears! But yes.
Astra hops up and down, fucking excited. Like, bam, boom, 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 boom. Senpai noticed me type stare.
Yep. He will, claw open the chest and begin rifling. Some of it is kind of melting or attaching, kind of sticking to his scales as he rolls in it. almost immediately picks up the crucifix in his maw because it's probably the most flagrantly over the top thing they've got, gnawing on it, leaving some tooth marks. And just starts bellowing about how pleased he is, and yes, fire fucking actually pitches his head around, and between two of you blasts a breath of flame into the fire spirits, livening them, enlarging them, like kind of sending them into a more furious, hungry dance. But yes, he revels. Sadly, you don't have spirit speech, but he is crowing on and on about this and that, and will eventually come around and to each of you rear up to grant like we'll say like snaking around you. And because, you know, Astra is flat out the biggest fangirl, she gets like the nose boop to the brow.
Paint.
Yep. There's this insanely, somehow not burning you terribly, but this insanely hot waft of breath that like flares out across your face. You feel like you should be scalded, but you're not because he loves you. But he goes back, after acknowledging each of you in turn, goes back to kind of rolling in the gold, takes up the chest. And even though it looks like it should be far too heavy for him to take up without it being unwieldy, declares something or another, and then snatches it up and shoots off with it to add it to his hoard.
And as he disappears as the alpha of the small pack, Aaron will let out that thunderclap of a howl, hoping his pack mates would join in with him, signaling off their pack totem.
Oh yes, Krar will belt out with a more raucous bird cry than actual howl, but he too.
Yep, and much the same. Dite too will join in, screeching in victory and in pleasure in the acceptance of the offering. Because you guys made a pretty good haul, so he's pretty chill.
Yes.
And yeah, she will begin ranting about how pleased he was, and he said this, and he said that, and blah, blah, blah. On and on and on. She'll begin crowing in essentially delight over just how happy their totem is with their performance.
Well, that was successful, wouldn't you say?
Of course. Everything.
And I must say, your plan worked out perfectly.
The Fenrir grins. You see the molten kind of ash in the mouth kind of gargle slightly as it widens those gnawing teeth. I would not have gone so perfectly without all of us working as one.
Dude.
The work we did.
Yeah, truth be told, especially in Umbra, he's even bigger and more menacing than he physically is, which is pretty fucking big already. So yeah, he is massive and snarly, and the chains will jangle and whatnot to emphasize as he moves.
We should get back to the boat. Make sure that everything is good and we have enough gold to please the Islanders.
Did any of you hold back gold from the offering? Da-na-na.
Oh, Anne gave the chest and a lot of the shit that was in that room, but anything else to Kinfolk talk, it was kind of like, yeah, you guys keep that.
Yeah, this is true.
Yeah.
So, you guys did have them ferrying it back, so there's a good amount still.
Let's get back then. I want to see the others' faces as they realize we'd outsmarted them. Like, smile to herself.
And you lot are ferried back to the Tellurian, surrounded by flames that are just consuming these things down to the very foundations. These houses, especially with fire drakes showing up and feeding into them, it is a fucking inferno. There's going to be little left of this place besides foundations and cobblestones and whoever all managed to get out. Some barns off there, over there, way over there. But that is it. As you get to cinematically walk out of these fucking flames because
cool guys don't look at explosions.
exactly.
Slow-mo walk. All of us put on shades. Yeah.
And the kinfolk, of course, have kind of fucked off as the flames got a little more furious, and so there are some still that you will, as you're walking, pass as they're herding the last of the animals back towards the ship, having retrieved them from the more distant holding pens. Those chickens were a lost cause. Poor chickens. Between Ironclaw and the fire, they're fucked.
Glad nobody has chicken spirit heritage.
Yeah. It's okay. You're good. But yeah,
That would be interesting.
you will also see the tail end of a slave chain that is working its way back towards the boat now that nobody's in Krynos and the people can, are ambulatory. But all in all, as you get back to the ship, yeah, you've done pretty good. You managed to get the better part of the livestock, and yeah, there's, a collection of women and children at one end of the ship. There is a slave chain being hitched up at the other, with the most capable looking, or at least young enough to look like they might grow into it, men, and anything that had pure breed, really. The smaller, the weaker, the less fit were all culled off and left to burn in the inferno.
Yes. And as Aaron kind of lands feet first on top deck, he'll make his way to Sano.
Truth be told, they may have gotten a bit of a rough thing, but Sana still looks pleased at it with herself. In fact, is overlooking as we'll say that Jesper is attaching the chain to some big bolt on the ship itself. But all in all, looking pretty smug.
He walked up and it's that smart. It's like, ha ha ha. Nicely done, sister.
Oh yeah, you get the arm clasp again. Muscle clasp.
Yeah.
Shing! Too well done. They practically fell into our hands. Anyway. See, you got the better part of the homes, though. Fucking points over to where there's, the various, the loot piled.
There points over to the town where most of it is on fire compared to just the half of it.
Mm-hmm. They all look right at Astra like, we know what you did.
Oh, they're looking at all of you like, we know your shit.
It's like, but it was glorious.
And despite herself, because all the teasing aside, who doesn't like a good burning and raiding and pillaging? And yeah, I mean, there's some off comment that's barely audible from Muna about like, oh well, not coming back here next year. But Sane is thrilled and big toothy smiles.
Damn it. Would Astra have heard that? 'Cause it's kind of important.
Would you like to roll?
I would like to roll, yes, because some shit's about to kick off. She does, because I did my job, damn it. I did my Fenrirness. I did my fanatic nature.
That's fun.
Yeah, you hear her snipping a comment, and again, it is not a grudging thing. It's just kind of like, yep, that happened. We're not coming back here next year. There won't be shit here.
Stare. I'm assuming Krar and Ditty are walking beside her. She's walking with the I just fucked you all, fuck with my swag walk.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then she hears, "We'll be back here next year." Stop. Literally the gif on the right hand side where she turns and just stares. You know what I mean? What was that?
She just gestures out to the inferno, which is lighting up far more than the village ever lit up on its own. It'll take more than a year to rebuild.
But they'll remember.
Oh, they will.
Good. They'll remember the next time, and the time after that. And if they raise up, then we'll just burn them all. Do you doubt that we will be able to? Do you doubt our Fenrir strength?
Whew. Gonna make a roll for the snarky.
Yeah. You want to snark off? Yeah, I'm a Gallier.
Gonna make a roll to see if she snarks harder.
As well, stood next to two Fenrir Arons.
I mean, she's surrounded by pack as well.
Go on, snark me. Do it.
You've heard of a cat fight before, but now come and see the
Pretty
pack
much.
fight.
But
Rawr. Or should I say, fucking raw?
Snark me, please. I'm waiting.
trying to remember what exactly it was I was gonna say. Fuck. God damn it! What exactly did you say again, Torna?
Do you doubt our Fenrir strength to be able to put them down again and again and again, and they'll remember who we are and what we are? And they will know. They basically, if anyone rises,
Ooh.
No.
what we did to this, but they'll know what we did to this village after they tried to rise up because there was fighting. You know what I mean? So we put them to the sword. They won't ever do it again. You know, that type of gist.
There's just there's no real expression to read, but there's still an amused tone. Should I doubt the ability of even a single pack of Fenrir to take out a farming village? Of course I do not doubt.
But yet you question as if in amusement.
I doubt that there will be anything here next year to take, but I do not doubt that you can burn it to the ground over and over as many times as you like.
Stare. Like Aaron can feel it. You know what I mean? There's this rising in the back. Like,
Zealot intensifies.
Just see this smile. It's like, yeah, look what you did.
oh, okay. Okay, Astra. Okay, Fanatical. Let's see how we play this. And she'll look around. And is that what all of you think? We can just burn it to the ground. Do none of you truly understand? Do none of you truly get it? Or is it just you who's afraid to make small sacrifices so when the larger enemy comes, they'll already fear us? They'll already fear everything we are. But then again, I've seen you struggle with a few farm folk, so I must guess that you're the weak link.
For what it's worth, the raven that is again perched on our shoulder gives a very coarse, guttural screech at you again, because it seems to have a mind of its own. Meanwhile, Ironclaws is trotting over, taking a seat by his Theurge, just, making sure nothing's going on here. Nothing's getting too exciting here.
Hey guys, Fire Ducks.
Hey guys, I'm a Phylloducts. I just want you to know, I'm sitting here. I'm sitting right here. I'm watching you.
Please don't ignore me.
He's not especially easy to ignore. He's the only lupus on the boat. Let it be known. The people who are chained or tied around, they are not a big fan of the lupus on the boat. Let it be said.
But yeah, Astra stares goddamn fucking intense, you know. I don't know how her packmates are reacting, but yeah, I mean, her brother knows that, she said some shit. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Senna is intensifying right next to Arn.
Yeah, well, Arn's just like, well, she said some shit. Like, oh, it's all right. It's under control. Let her have it. Let her have it. Just, when it gets too much, that's when we'll calm it down. For now, it's Spanta.
Oh, Lord.
So Arn sees it. It's like, oh, you. Come here, sister. Like.
Is he intervening? Is he come here, sister?
No, he's not. No, he's exactly not. Why would he do that? It's not tense. This is just.
No, it's not tense at all. There's no tension here.
If I pull her away, we'll come in, so she just get angry. Let her simmer down. It's okay.
No, it's like, see, look at that. They're having fun. They're getting along so well. I know people.
So good at people.
This is the man with zero empathy, I add. So yes, he knows people.
He totally knows people.
Zealotry intensifies. She's like fucking dead staring this woman. It's like, you dare question me?
And the big paw kind of lands up on your leg where he just kind of doop. He's just sitting, picks up a paw, plops it on your thigh. Mission was to raid. Not to send message, but was good message anyways.
I'm gonna roll willpower to say some shit. Not say some shit. Because it's like the raid message are the same thing in my mind. Zealotry.
Zealotry, top score!
I pass, but 1 success. She's like, Aaron can feel it. She's like, it's the same thing.
And again, you just get that smile, like, yeah. Well,
look how happy everyone is.
Look out! Look, she's great.
Astra, please. There's no need to look upon. And in Packlink, he's going to think fools, but then he's going to say, other guys, listen. All she meant to say, even though her words admittedly were not the best, not the brightest, what she meant to imply by what she said was these people won't be around next year or the year after, but that means that when they do return, they'll return stronger, and there will be greater glory for us Fenrir. Because they'll be stronger, and that means we will defeat stronger warriors. And because we've left a message in addition to raiding, all the other villages will be stronger, and thus we will have so much more glory.
Clicks his fingers, points.
Finger
My
guns.
man.
Yeah, my man.
You see, that is Fenrir.
Astra just deflates slightly, still not taking her eyes off the woman, because it's like, you fucking question my zealotry. You know what I mean? But she just walks by.
Now, this is enough. Anybody needs me, I'll be with my wife. He just turns and starts walking out. He'll just pick Maya up as he walks.
Astra goes and sits down to her own, scraping at her axe furiously, like, they question my zealotry. No, don't burn down religious, Astra.
You bring the buildings, Astra. So
Astra, don't burn the religious. Astra, don't burn the gold. She's just scraping at her axe furiously.
It's fucking crow with a fucking crow face and a stupid fucking bird.
It's pretty much how she is. Like, she's only 19, so she's behaving like a 19-year-old. Writing my dream diary later about how stupid her face is.
In my dream diary.
God, I'm gonna complain to Dad when I get back. Ugh.
I'm gonna cry to my.
This turns out my father will hear about this.
It's basically what she's like. My father will hear of this.
She goes full Malfoy.
Yeah, basically the look she
Oh my god.
She doesn't say it because that'll look weak as fuck, but that's what she's thinking. My father will hear about this. You know, she's... I think Katie's done with her shit finally.
Sorry, no, Katie was talking to Bob.
Oh, basically, the girl gets the Malfoy look, which is my father will hear about this, you know what I mean, type stare. You know, and she just goes, sits down, sharpening her, grumbling, like, oh, don't burn the villages, no, with your stupid crow face. She's scraping away.
That seems fine and not at all immature.
She's 19.
Not at all immature. And Azayan kind of like has announced about if anyone needs him. He's with his wife, picks her up, walks off.
Oh yeah, she was right there to pick up and everything.
Of course she was. Good wife. Good insane, psychotic. No, come here.
Oh God. Yep. And thus do you set off for home with all of that booty and also the booty, like the goods. But but yes, as such, do you successfully head home with all of your gains? And unless you guys have stuff that you want to do there, I think we will call it with you leaving this poor village in fucking ashes. Oh, very well. Then thank you, players, for playing. We'll see you next time as we kill more people and set more shit on fire.